All right. And we are live. And welcome to the Iron Lords Podcast, LLC, and lordsofgaming.net. It's another glorious Saturday. We're back at the round table here at the Lord's Day. We've got a fun special guest, so we're going to get right into it. I want to introduce a Lord who is not only a friend to the round table, but also represents an informative pathway to our gaming history through amazing marketing and his extensive video games industry experience. Introducing the senior manager of content marketing at Play On Americas and former director at Ubisoft, 2K Sports, and our beloved Sega of America, the Lord of Mountain Bikes and fellow Shenmue and retro brethren, live from Cali and making his debut into the realm of the Lords, my man, Lord Mike Rhinehart. How we doing, sir?
Oh my gosh. Thank you for the introduction. I am humbled, honored to be here. I am nervous a little bit, but I'll be okay. Don't worry, only because of the oozing awesomeness of gaming that is discussed here at this round table. And I am going to make myself do a mic check because I know that this does happen at the beginning of some of your podcasts. So, Sega.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. He's ready. He's ready. He's ready. He said the correct verbiage here. You're amongst friends and family.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
No doubt. And we obviously the Lord's here in the building. Lord King, how we doing, sir? We got Lord back in the building.
You know, when it's a Memorial Day weekend and I have to put stuff on hold because I'm telling you, this is one of those, and I know it's going to be absolutely epic because I do know a little bit of the journey, but I saw his garage, his basement, his workspace, his think
Woo!
space, and I absolutely got the chills. And I said, "There's no way on this planet that I was missing this. This is one of those things that during the week you're like, don't die, don't die, don't die, don't
Yeah,
die."
I gotta make it. I gotta make it. I gotta make it to the new release. The new console's coming out. I gotta
Well,
make it.
you know how that go. And it was crazy because I thought only I thought like that. No, we all
I
do.
do that. I
We all
did
do.
that.
We
Yeah, I
all
used to
do.
do that. Yeah.
Yeah, so today was one of those days that the birds sounded a lot, chirpier. It was raining outside, but the sun was shining. The dogs was happy. I was like, yes, it's a wonderful day. Yes, yes. I went and I made sure that when I took my shower, I made sure I did my facial properly because today I know for a fact that the gods, the gaming gods, are shining on this to get us to this point to meet Mike, buddy. I've been waiting for this for a long
Long
time.
time. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
did not know you were him, but now I did when we
Yeah.
had our other meeting, and this is
Mhm.
it. I can't wait.
No,
I can't wait.
absolutely, man. Absolute pleasure, Mike. And again, getting a chance to meet you. Obviously, you had a chance to meet at the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, debut and just seeing the confidence that you and the team had about the game was truly amazing. And then coming to find out we have this shared secret affinity for gaming history and retro and obviously all amazing stuff that you doing at Play On and stuff like that. So it's only right to have you in the realm of the round table. Before we officially start, I do have to ask, with all your busy schedule with marketing and everything that's going on with you. Have you had a chance to play anything these days recently? I had to ask you this before we start.
absolutely. So right now I'm playing Slay the Spire 2. That's
Okay.
my
Oh,
guilty
awesome.
pleasure.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, I I log in a lot of hours playing this. It's something I can do on my Steam Deck. It's something I can do on break. And I really just love jumping into it and the strategy behind it. I think the game's got layers, it's deep, it's fun. And then I'm a World of Warcraft nerd. So
Oh,
I
I love you. Go ahead.
I started playing World of Warcraft to reconnect with some of my original gaming buddies. And I played originally as just a social outlet, just to chat with them and kind of go through the storyline. I am absolutely in love with the game. I'm absolutely in love with what they've done with the game. And for something 20 years old
Crazy.
to continue to bring the content that they're bringing quarterly, monthly,
Mm.
it's an incredible thing. And the respect that that game has among content creators really opened my eyes up to it's not, and I'm going to use the word nerd in an endearing way because I
Right.
consider myself one.
Same.
But it's not a nerdy game. It is a very deep game. It is very complex. It is something that'll give you entertainment forever.
Yep.
And I thoroughly enjoy it. So I play World of Warcraft probably 3 times a week on average right
Okay.
now.
All right. All right.
Um, I'm playing retail, so I'm playing the current version of the game, and I thoroughly love it. And and
That was a if Cog doesn't know that was a flex,
That was
Cog.
the
If
flex.
if you didn't know,
Yeah, that was the
if you know
NDA flex. That was the
that
NDA
was the
flex. Like,
flex.
just yeah,
Yeah.
no, I played what you guys are playing on board. You know,
No, no,
standard.
no, no, no. Okay, so
Break it
you
down.
don't
Oh, break it down.
understand.
No, break it down.
There's
Educate
there's
me.
there's a vanilla free version,
Mhm.
and then there is the retail version.
Mm.
I pay money for this. See, what you didn't understand, what
Oh, that was the
happened was,
okay. I
yeah,
got you. I got
I
you.
pay money for this. I'm invested into this. So I'm not a casual. That was his flex. And I understand it because I was steeped in it. But this is your moment, real quick.
Mhm.
But go ahead. Go ahead.
oh,
So,
not at all. And to be completely honest, like there are a lot of core folks that really like to play vanilla, like to play classic. And so the reason I mentioned that I'm playing retail is I just want to make sure to delineate kind of where I am on that spectrum. So
Gotcha.
I don't pretend to be this expert. I'm not soda popping. I'm not taking people out PvP, but I am in love with the game. And as someone that's doing content marketing at PlayOn, I'm watching Twitch, I'm watching YouTube all day long on a second screen. And so sometimes that's what happens to be playing on my second screen while I'm at work and I'm allowed
Nice.
to do it. And it's a great
Nice.
thing.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Um, I and I will jump into the current job just quickly a little
Yeah,
bit at
please
PlayOn.
do. Mm.
I found a home that I couldn't be more happy with. And how we met, Cog, I think is super cool.
Yes.
Through this KCD2 hands-on event. And I think I landed at PlayOn at this incredible time, like right as Space Marine 2 is being published, the physical version is being distributed by PlayOn. I worked on Undisputed, so I went
Oof.
to a
Haters
boxing
loving
match
that.
in Las Vegas with a hip hop gamer you might know,
Oh, shout out to
yes.
hip
friend of
hop.
mine. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here pinching myself thinking like this job I'm meant to be here. And so
Facts.
enter Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and I am so blown away by this game. And we're going to get into how this ties back into my career, but this is one of those generational games that I hadn't had this feeling in 14, 15 years about a game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I needed to do something different than hands-on digital remote. I wanted to do something in person. I wanted to make it tangible. I wanted to go to the backyards of the content creators and bring the game to them, bring Toby to them.
Check
Because
this out.
I have these amazing resources. I have a game that looks and plays incredible in person. And oftentimes when you're in development, that isn't always a luxury you have. I have this incredible spokesperson in Toby
Amazing.
who
Yep.
who I met at PAX West when I first
Mhm.
started at PlayOn, and within 5 minutes, I knew this was going to be one of my best friends. I knew
Yeah.
immediately, and we talked about everything from hockey to current games we're working on to games we loved in the past, and it was like immediate connection. And I'm so thankful that we met at that event, and I'm so
Yes.
thankful that the intention of the event was realized. Like hearing you say that being able to do that hands-on in person was it gave us the confidence in the game was exactly the brief. That was the brief. I was
Oh,
like,
that was
we
it.
need
Okay.
to prove that this game is ready for the public, that we are so confident we're going to let you capture at this point in the dev cycle and then drop your content on this date. And
Hmm.
it couldn't have been a better experience. And sure, it's nerve-wracking. It's one of those things like there's a lot on the line when you convince
Oh
a
yeah.
dev team to go out and do this. And if it
Hmm.
doesn't go well, it's my back, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was such a great event, and to meet you in person was terrific. And something in the back of my head was going off as we met that there was more there than just the current game that we're working on, and this is why we're here
That's
today.
why we're
So,
here. No,
so
well
thank you
said.
for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a pleasure for you to be here. Got Lost Sob in the building as well. And no, I'm glad you said that because I wanted to make it clear, one thing about us, we're going to be as transparent as possible, whether, the game does well or the game, doesn't. And the thing that I remembered, the key thing, I was like, I've never seen this level of transparency and confidence with a game to let us go behind the hood and say, hey, 4 or 5 hours, knock yourself out. Here it is. Right. And again, no disrespect to any other company or marketing director and stuff like that. But, generally you get kind of like a controlled, vertical slice of something. And that's fine. I'm totally cool with that. That's what I'm used to. So what you guys did was so different. And then where I knew there was something more, now that I know that you were behind it, now that we've been friends, is that the location you picked. And King, if you saw, if you would have seen the location, this was like, New York City, Chinatown, but it was like the arcade scene. It was a vibe. It was a bar. And I'm like, oh, this is home to me. This is what I kind of grew up with, these kind of low lit kind of environments, but it's about gaming and fun. And it's rare that you see kind of like those barcade kind of things, but in a very high end kind of cool way. And I was like, oh, this was whoever put this together. I didn't know at the time, I didn't know was you were behind it, was awesome. And to see Toby again, who was a good friend of the realm, and we've been there with him from the very beginning. And shout out to Sov. One of our highest performing videos was kind of showing Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 as far as a woman's lot and the DLC, and that took off for us. And for us, it was a blessing because it's like seeing someone play their indie album before the world sees it, and we like, you've got something. You've got something, and we're very cool to see your friends, but obviously people we're friends with. But yeah, no, well said story, and I just want to I just want to give you a couple bars before we officially start. In terms of obviously we got Lord Mike in the building. You know what I'm saying, of Play On, formerly of Sega, Ubisoft, 2K Sports. We got a lot to talk about, but I just want to any kind of words before we get into the whole thing.
Mike, thank you for joining us, Mike. Again, once when Cog and King told me that they had met you and who you were, I'm like, immediately I look up your gamography. I'm like, oh my God, this guy. This guy was there. He was the guy in the trenches for us in the Sega trenches, especially. You know what I mean?
Oh.
So it was very excited to pick your brain about that stuff, especially like looking at your gamography. You did so much PR stuff for baseball, particularly 2K stuff or whatever, in the transition from like the Saturn to the Dreamcast. Those were games that I loved and both broke my heart as well. So I'm like, so yeah, man, for you to have that sort of depth of experience, and obviously, Cog mentioned you working with Yu Suzuki and on Shenmue and stuff like
questions,
that.
Boy.
I mean, I knew I was like, this is brethren right here. This is and just the same way that when you met these guys, you knew as soon as they told me about you, I was like, oh yeah,
I totally was so pissed off because I was supposed to go that day with Toby and them.
Yes,
yeah.
And because me and Toby is really cool.
Yeah,
so I got stories.
You got stories.
Man, not for online. Yeah, it's my guy. We're like this. But I was just like, dang. And Cog was like, yo. And then I met this guy Mike, and everything was cool. So I was like, okay. And he was just like, yeah, man, everything, the event was great. Everything was great. The location was great. And he just like kept going. I said, keep rubbing it in. Just like, all right, like, all right.
Rubbing it in.
I said, all right already. All right, cool. All right. So, and then when I got a chance to meet you, I was like, it makes sense.
I'm blushing. I'm blushing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sav, so good to meet you, and thanks for being here. And I hope everything's okay.
Yeah,
and,
everything's fine. Puppy stuff. I'm a new puppy dad, just a couple of months in, and so everything that kind of goes left freaks me out, and my wife as well. So she's our puppy's becoming a young lady, and everything that goes along with that.
Yeah.
I'm an animal person, so I was very concerned,
awesome.
but I'm happy to hear it's okay.
Thank you.
And I could not be more humble to be here and hear you guys talk about even knowing some of my history in gaming. I've been going for 26 years straight, and I haven't really had a chance to stop and reflect. There have been a few times where I did a Shenmue interview here, maybe another one there, but I've never really had a time to unpack it. And
That's so
even just
beautiful.
the little introductions of tidbits that you brought to the table, I am flattered. I am honored. Saab, you talking about baseball, that was a big part of my career.
Mhm.
And we'll get into all of it.
Oh,
I,
that's
I
wonderful.
I can't wait. And if we don't cover everything, I will come back
Oh, you could always do a part
anytime
Oh
two.
you
yeah,
guys want.
hell yeah,
We
hell
always could do a
yeah.
part two.
I
There's
love
always
this.
time to
This
talk.
requires a part two.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I think the
This is
only
like a Peter Moore part
yeah, so
two.
Peter
Like
Moore.
Oh,
We had I don't know if we had well, we had Peter Moore on,
you mean
and
my former boss? Well,
your
yes,
foot,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
that dude.
the legend.
yes.
And it was
Yes.
we got down a path that was so fun, and we were like, okay, we're at time. We're gonna respect. And he was like, hey, if you want to come back, he's absolutely. And we did a part two, and it was
yeah,
awesome.
and he
Oh,
came back.
Yeah, he
You're
came back.
the only person that I know that other than myself to have a Vectrex, and you still got yours.
Yeah,
mine
And
is
oh,
yeah, and
he
I
about to bust it
last
out.
time it's here. I don't know
He
if
look
you
at
about to
can
bust it out.
this.
see
He
it,
about to bust it out.
Yeah,
but
look at
Wow.
this thing. Yeah, we can
I
see it. We
see
can
it.
see
I can
it.
see it
it's
here.
barely on
Yeah, we can see
camera,
it.
Yeah, I can
but
see it. I
Yeah.
can see it.
yep.
And
See that Tron in it.
how yeah, I think that's a soundtrack that you have a Tron in the back, right?
It is. It
Yeah,
is.
it's a
And
soundtrack. Yeah, because I got that
yes.
record too. All right, so check. Well, I don't have the Vectrex any longer. I had it, and the only reason why the Vectrex was born was because my mother didn't want me playing. I think it was a ColecoVision. She was like, I don't want that on my TV because she had just brought a floor model television, right? So I don't want that on my television because it's going to destroy my television. Guys,
Oh
I
my
got the
God.
floor model, the wood paneling
Yeah,
and
Oh
all that
yeah.
other stuff.
yeah.
She brought home the Cadillac of televisions.
The
So
when
centerpiece of
when
the
the
living
TV,
room.
the TV is furniture.
Yeah,
yeah,
literally. Literally.
it stood there for a while, and then she was like, "Well, I don't want your gaming system on it." I was just like, "Wow, like that happened." And then I don't know how I found out about the Vectrex, but I traded my ColecoVision in for a Vectrex, and I got the Vectrex with all the games and the little screen layers, and she came in and I was sitting there playing it. And I'll never forget her because she thought she got me away from gaming.
Mhm.
She looked and she says, "What's that?" I said, I said, "I got it comes with its own television."
Oh yes.
So you was able to get the gaming space back. Yeah, totally.
Yes,
Oh my
yes,
Totally.
gosh.
yes. Those
Totally.
cartridges, that game, the sound, the Vectrex graphics, that machine. I think that's one I wouldn't mind them bringing back at all. Because I felt that thing, it was just a pocket universe within itself. So I was able to be absorbed into that and tabletop arcade machines that as
Oh yeah.
well.
We're gonna
Oh
get
my
into it.
gosh. I can't believe you're going there.
Oh
So
yeah.
so the Vectrex, let's talk about that for a
All right,
second
let's do
because
it.
this is magic in a box.
Yes.
It is what's special about it. It's a vector monitor, so it's not your normal TV. This is a monitor that's designed to draw vectors, designed to draw lines only, and that's its only job. Similar to what you would see in medical equipment, and what Atari was using for their arcade machines back in the day.
Mhm.
So Asteroids was a vector game,
Yeah.
Tempest was a
Mhm.
vector game, Star
Tempest.
Wars was a vector game, and the fact that this thing was a self-contained unit is surreal. It's a
Yep.
vector monitor, and this thing had a hum when you would turn it on that's like nothing else. And King, you and I talked about this with the Virtual Boy as well. You turn the thing on, there's like some weird magic happening in the machine that makes this hum, and it's
Yeah.
putting pictures on the screen that aren't traditional, television images, and it's just super cool. So hearing you say that, and hearing you talk about the tabletops, and hearing you talk about having to get around your mom blocking the TV,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think we had mirror childhoods because
Mm.
my foray into gaming was and maybe this is a good segue to talk
Let's
about
go.
my
Yeah.
start.
Mhm.
Uh, in the 70s, we had these family friends that my parents would take us to a couple times a year. And they met in the hospital when my oldest sister was born and we're friends ever since. We're still friends with the family. And we went there one Thanksgiving and they had an Atari 2600.
Mm.
And my mind was blown. I was absolutely floored. I had a chance to see this thing on screen. And what did I do? I didn't play first.
What you
I
do? What you do?
grabbed I grabbed the boxes and I
Ooh.
started looking at the artwork.
The artwork of the
Ooh,
box.
yeah.
Yes.
I started reading the front, the back, cover to cover. I go into the catalog in here, and I'm 7 years old, mind you. I start reading this stuff front to back before I'm even playing any of the games at the house. And I was actually kind of nervous about playing the games. And I think it was Superman was the first game I checked out. And that artwork is
That
glorious.
too.
If you ever want to
Yeah.
go look at the 2600 box, it's incredible. In my head, I thought somebody worked on this. Somebody wrote all this copy. Someone did this artwork. Somebody laid this thing out so that someone like me could read it and get really excited about games. And that was the first time I had this inkling I wanted to be in gaming.
Early.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Early, 7 years old. And I
Wow.
vividly remember this. I remember the couch. I remember the layout. I remember the wood panel television.
Big
And
back.
Yeah.
I remember going home that day and telling my mom I wanted video games. And I absolutely love this woman. She just passed in March, and she had lived an incredible life.
My
So
condolences.
thank
Sorry.
you so much.
My
And
condolences.
we're gonna talk about so much, and I'll be totally transparent, like we were at the event, Cog. There, I'm not shy about sharing. I'm not looking for, I'm not trying to be a sympathy gatherer, but it's just part of my life. And she was anti-gaming. She said,
Oh,
"We're not going to have video
We
games
share
in the
that.
house," and she was not going to let me have a video game on the television. She was not going to let me play games. And what that forced me to do was build this neighborhood network of places I knew where I
You
could
had to
go
get
play
creative,
games.
like me. Yes.
I quickly, and there was this weird word of mouth going around the neighborhood, like who had what consoles, who had what games, where were the arcade games? We knew it all. There was no internet back then. There
Nope.
was no way to research this stuff. This was
Nerds
all
Connect.
word of mouth. That's right. And so I
It's
built
it's called the Nerds Network.
The Nerd Connect Network.
This is exactly right. And I figured out how to network with my fellow nerds and play games. And it was the handhelds. It was Mattel football. It was us gathering on the playground during recess and going off in a corner and playing so we wouldn't get in trouble from the yard duties. Football, soccer, hockey, those little Mattel handhelds all the
You
time.
talk about head-to-head.
Head-to-head football.
Head-to-head.
Head-to-head football. Yes.
Head to head. I have Alien Attack right here that I bought again. I bought again because my dad got me that for Christmas, and he passed last February, and I had to get it back. And it's like, again, it's perfection. It's perfection.
Yeah.
It's perfection. And there was Coleco Electronic Quarterback, which also had the pass play and the run play button.
Yeah.
And I really started getting into these things and building my nerd network, and it kind of changed my life. And I started figuring out, King, just like you, how to get around the no video games in the house loophole.
That's right.
That's me.
So I was living in Santa Monica at the time. I was born in Southern California. My parents decided to move to Northern California when I was 10. And I talked my mom into getting the Coleco tabletop Pac-Man.
Ooh, nice.
Yes.
And I even have a photo. I don't know how to share with you guys, but I have a photo of me actually playing it.
You can share screen in the Zoom call if you choose, but no pressure if you don't feel like doing that. If it's too much.
Let's give it a try.
Let's give it a shot.
See if I can.
Yeah, and after he does that, I can tell you my story. So I was
All right, yep, I see the allow. You have permissions to share.
Awesome.
I was eating Pac-Man cereal. Pac-Man cereal is like my favorite cereal growing up, right? And I used to watch the cartoon. So they was like, when
here it
the
comes,
arcade machine, and yes.
I missed those. And what was so cool about those, Mike, is for me as a kid, I like that even though they were miniature, they mimic the actual arcade cabinet shape. So it felt like you gotta have, oh man, those are so cool.
Even if it didn't look like it.
Even if it looked like it.
No, but it was the game though. It was perfect, man. I had a Popeye. It was amazing.
Oh yes.
Popeye was different though.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I filled out the application because it said I won, right? So I filled it out and I sent it away. One day I'm sitting inside the house and I had a banana, jelly, and peanut butter sandwich, right? And come from school watching Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, and I'm getting ready to do my homework, and it was a knock at the door. And my mother says, "Don't open the door. I'm a latchkey kid." And it says, "A package for David Johnson." Well, I'm thinking it's a package from my father, right? So I'm like, I'm opening the door. The kidnapper's gonna get me today. All right. So I open the door, and he goes, "Oh, I need an adult." I said, "I'm David Johnson." He said, "You know what, kid? Here, take it." I was like, "Thanks." Closed the door, locked it behind it. Open the box. I'm thinking my father, because he was in the Air Force, I thought he was sending me like a flight helmet, right? Because that's what he said he was gonna send. I opened it and it was Pac-Man. And I said, when I opened the top and I saw it, it was like, oh,
Oh, that's for a kid.
I didn't have any batteries.
Oh, and that thing ate batteries, let me tell you.
I forgot if it was D or C batteries, but I didn't have any.
Yeah.
It was C batteries.
4C batteries. Yeah.
Yes.
4C
Four
batteries.
C batteries, huge. But I finally wind up getting it, but I played that thing for hours. Absolutely hours. So that face that he had in the picture,
the joy, the joy. Oh yeah,
absolute joy. Oh my God.
Yes. Kudos to my dad for deciding to take pictures. He's captured a few moments in my gaming history that I'm so thankful that he did, because it wasn't like we had like point, click, and shoot cameras ready. Like that was like take a picture, develop it, and for him to do that, I was
that's
I'm
awesome.
Floored. I'm floored.
Yes. So you go from there.
I go from there. So I'm working on ways to get around the no video games in the house, and now I'm living in Northern California. My nerd network has expanded. And I now know the friend who has the Atari 2600. I know the friend who has the Intellivision. I know a friend who has the ColecoVision and a huge Game & Watch collection.
That's my role.
And he ends up being a very close friend of mine. I know where the Vectrex is up the street. I have my BMX bike, and we're running the neighborhood, and we are running from house to house. We're playing games.
Love this.
And again, I'm thinking, this is awesome. I feel a little bit bad that I'm knocking on my friends' doorsteps before they come home from school so that I can get in their room and play their games, and then we can hang out together. I am that guy. I'm the guy that was like, hey, do you want to play today? And by play, I want to play your console.
Your console, yeah. The day of going to your friend's house to play what you didn't have, right? And that, I think that's lost. Like, it's weird for me when I see people like, I'm just going to get one system, but it's like, okay, that's cool. But like, you would go to your friend's house to try something new or something that you didn't experience.
The real
I do miss that. So I love what you said. Continue.
Yes. So enter 1982-ish. I'm still trying to figure out how to get around this rule. I've gotten around it a little bit with the handhelds, and the tabletop, and then I finally convinced my mom to let me get a Commodore 64. It's a home computer, Mom. I am going to learn how to do stuff on it. Do you know why I got the Commodore 64, you guys? There was the hugest gaming library on this computer to date for anything.
Yes.
And it opened my eyes to gaming in an incredible way. And not only did I get the Commodore 64, I got this very special one. It was a hand-me-down. Everything in my life has been a hand-me-down now, and I'm totally comfortable with it. I still am the same way. I'm still the same way. So
yes. I know the hand-me-down life. Talk your talk.
This is the Commodore SX64, which was it was a portable Commodore 64. I have a picture of it as well. I don't want to break up the podcast too well. I can send it to you guys after. Or
no, you can share it now, bro. Okay. This is your gaming house. This is your life, Mike Rhinehart.
Remember,
you shared that.
Remember, we can do a part 2. This is
okay. It's another one. My dad decided to take a picture. I'm so thankful of this, and
that's beautiful.
This picture is a little overexposed, but it again kind of shows how important this thing was to me.
Wow. Yeah. Yo, look at the hand, the little lever, the handle.
That's right.
But are you looking at the ages, because they grew from the Pac-Man, they grew. And that's
Yes.
around Christmas time. Look
look
at
at
the
the
That's right.
floppy. Look at the
This-
floppy
Look at
right
the
on the
floppy.
side.
Look at the
Oh,
battle
Oh.
set. Look at the battle set. Oh, I
That's
like
right.
this. I like this.
Yeah, so
This is great.
this was the greatest Christmas ever. And do you
Mm.
see that screen? I think it's 4 inches diagonal.
Mhm.
Yep.
Tops. Yeah.
It's a CRT. It's full color.
Mhm.
But this changed my life, and it changed my life
Mm.
because that friend that had the ColecoVision, who now had the Atom, which was the
The
computer
Atom,
version,
which was the
Mm.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, yes.
he also had a Commodore 64. And he
Oh.
was Danish he was from Denmark. He had moved into town when I was in fourth grade,
Mm.
and he had these connections. His nerd connection
Mhm.
was humongous in Europe. And so
Mm.
we would mail cassette tapes
Wow.
from California to Denmark, and people would send back loads of games on these
That's
cassette tapes to us.
insane.
And
Wow.
we would trade. We had this European network of trading games back and forth
He
with each
got
other.
global.
Yo, he got global. He was
He
doing
got-
GameFly.
That's right.
Global.
And so this is where I developed this taste for having a lot of games
Mhm.
and learning a console inside and out. And so I amassed, I think, close to 1,000 games
Okay.
at this point
Okay.
through trading.
Mm-hmm.
My Danish friend had 3,000,
Wow.
and this was my thing. And while all this was happening, and this is where I started getting pulled in two different directions, I was also participating in swimming. I was a swimmer.
Okay.
And my mom threw me in swimming because, when I was younger, I had kind of deformed hips. I had health
Mhm.
issues like walking, potentially heading the Forrest Gump route with the leg braces.
Mhm.
And she was like, "Oh, we're throwing you in the pool. We're going to make you strong." And so I have this like athletic side where I'm participating in sports, but then as soon as I get home, I am playing games
Games all
nonstop.
day.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I have these two like worlds pulling me in different
yeah.
directions.
Mm-hmm.
But my ability to nerd network, I still found even on swim team people that like
Of
to play
course.
games.
Of course.
So I have this radar, and Cog, when we met in New York, that radar went off, and that's what
Yes.
it was. I knew.
Yes.
So
Hell yeah.
this was an important part of my life, and
Mhm.
with that Commodore 64, I also got a modem. And so this was early 80s still. Let's call it probably around 1983. I got the
Mhm.
modem, 84, and I'm dialing into local BBSs. And this is again, and
Oh.
I'm aging myself here. I
Yes.
No, you're
apologize.
fine. You're fine.
Okay.
No. Trust me, a lot of our audience is going to resonate with this because I just want to ask a question. Did your mother pick up the phone when you were on? And because my mother ran inside the room and thought the aliens was coming.
To hear that crackling, that
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. All the time.
That's funny.
So I'm dialing into local BBSs. My first modem is 300 baud, and
Oh,
and
yeah.
and again, I hope I'm not making your
I love
audience's
this
eyes
stuff.
glaze over with
That's
old
great.
technology.
It's great.
But 300 baud,
Mhm.
you can type faster than the words can come.
Then the
across.
words come
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
That's, but there are local BBSs, and I'm starting to meet my nerd network starting to grow again. I'm starting to meet people online.
Nice.
And even if it wasn't online back then, because guess what? Only one person could dial into the local BBS at a time. So,
Mhm.
it was, we're all taking turns. But
Yes.
now I'm starting to find other people.
Nice.
One of my best friends I find online, which back in the 80s was unheard of. My friend Matt, who I'm still great friends with today, he's one
That's
of my
awesome.
World of Warcraft buddies.
Nice.
He and I met. He was on an Atari 800 XL. I was on a Commodore 64.
Mhm.
That's like oil and water at the day. But
Oh,
we
yeah.
still,
Yeah.
we still
Technically,
got
I was
along.
console war.
Yeah.
That's right. It was
Yeah,
early
right.
console war. And we meet and we ride bikes over to each other's house. We start exploring, and this whole time I'm starting to learn the area I'm living in is steeped in entertainment. And this is kind of where my career starts.
Career starts.
I start thinking about it even more. So after that Superman moment,
Yeah.
we start riding bikes around, but thinking about video games as we're doing it. So we know where the arcade games are.
Mm.
We know that there are developers local to us. So
Mm.
Broderbund Software
Broderbund.
was
Yes.
nearby, and if you remember the game Karateka,
Oh
Hell
Yeah.
goodness.
yes.
Yeah.
yes, so they had just made that game. It was within BMX biking distance from my house,
Mhm.
and we would go there and dumpster dive. Like we like,
Wow.
what are these guys throwing out? I want to know. It's
Let's
it,
go.
we didn't find anything, of course, maybe some printouts of whatever, but and maybe some like packaging that had been tossed away because it was a misprint.
Mhm.
But I start like realizing like I'm living in this area where games are being developed.
That's awesome.
Lucasfilm is not far from me, so
Wow.
one of my friend's moms works for Lucas,
Mm.
and I got invited to see Return of the Jedi private screening, and like all these weird things are
Oh.
happening. And let me tell you something. I am fortunate. I'm not saying I deserve to be in this place. It was random.
You're in the hub
I
of
was
it.
fortunate.
Yeah.
Um, Even to this day, I feel fortunate to be in gaming. I am so thankful, but these weird things start happening. So I go to see Return of the Jedi private
Mm.
screening.
Mm.
I learned that ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, the special effects crew for Lucas is nearby. Um, I'm like really starting to Mindscape is nearby, and I'm starting
Mm.
to think like this is an industry. This is actually something you can do.
Mhm.
Fast forward to the Commodore Amiga,
Mm.
and I talked my dad and my mom into getting me this. Well, the Commodore 64 was great.
Right,
Mom and
right.
Dad, this is another computer that I can do even more cool things with.
Yes. More work. More work. Be more
4,000,
More
productive.
work.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Man, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
4,086 colors.
Woo.
It has stereo sound. This thing
Mm.
is the rock
Amiga.
star computer of computers at the time. It was multitasking in
Yes.
Yep.
1985. This
Yeah.
thing, light years ahead. And so lo and behold, some local dentist, thought it was going to be his business computer at work. It didn't work out because they weren't making the software he needed. And
Mhm.
so he unloads this thing on me for dirt cheap
Oh, let's
in
go.
1985. Again, another hand-me-down.
Let's
And
go.
I couldn't have afforded this computer. I'm one of four kids. There's no
Mhm.
way. But my dad did his work. He did his magic. He found an ad in the paper.
Mhm.
We go pick the thing up. I bring it home, and it was another amazing moment. And I start building this network again.
Mm.
And the Amiga changed the level of the network. And we formed a crew. And our crew was called Atom, ATOM.
Oh.
ATOM.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
ATOM. And
Mhm.
the acronym was Amiga Thieves of Marin. And we 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 wanted to be rebellious, but I don't know if you remember in the early software days, there were
Mhm.
these like cracking crews that would take
Yes.
Yeah.
a game, they would crack them, they would put killer music up front and say, this game was brought to you by
Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
whatever. We wanted to be one of those crews. So in my crew, it was my friend Matt. It was this other guy from the BBS named Mr. X.
Mr. X. There's
We
always a
have
Mr. X.
I
There's
know,
always a Mr. X.
right?
we,
Mr.
we start
X.
adding these older kids from high school
Mhm.
that we used to be afraid to reach out to because they were cool and they had combs in their back pocket and like long hair and
Fonz.
teen mustaches, and we're like, these guys are scary, but okay, let's bring them. So our crew ends up being this Goonies crew of video game nerds,
I love this.
Yeah.
and we start trading games. We start learning how to use the hardware in ways that most people can't. We
Mm.
joined the local Amiga users group as well. So Adam,
Oh.
Amiga Thieves of Marin, was like, well, let's go see what the rest of the world is doing with these computers. And there was a Amiga users of Marin group,
Mm.
and there were some pretty big heavy hitters in there. The guy that made that bouncing 3D ball for the Amiga,
Mm.
in 3D graphics, he was in this group, and like there
Oh.
were developers were coming and doing talks,
Okay.
and so now I'm thinking, okay, these are my people. I
Yeah.
really I can really get into this. And we're gonna still have our rebel crew over here, the Amiga Thieves of Marin, but we're gonna go see what everyone else is doing. And lo and behold, one of our crew starts to work at Lucas.
Mm.
He
Oh.
Oh,
gets a
wow.
job right out of high school.
Wow.
He's working at Lucas. He's working on Monkey Island. And I
Oh.
am thinking, okay, this can happen.
Mm.
Next one of our crew gets pulled. He's an artist. He gets pulled and starts working at Mindscape. And
That's getting
I'm
huge.
yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
sitting here going, this is happening, people. This is really happening.
Mm.
Meanwhile, I'm heading off to college,
Mm.
and I've got to, get figure out how to finish school and keep gaming. And so I get to college. I'm still swimming,
Mhm.
and part of swimming at college was there was a lot of travel involved.
Yeah.
So I was flying to different colleges. We were
Meats and
taking the
all that.
bus,
Mhm.
and one of the most important moments in gaming for me at that time was this handheld.
Yes.
Oh
Oh
man.
man, the Game
And
Gear.
again, you have to understand how weird this was to be
Mhm.
on a sports team and for me to pull out this handheld on the plane on trips, and all the other guys on the team were like, what are you doing? What is that?
What is that?
Yeah.
What gaming? That's for nerds. Like, come on, man. We're
Mhm.
we're
That was the
swimmers.
stigma. Yep,
That's
that was the
right.
Yeah.
stigma.
And I
Talk
was
to
like,
him.
nope, nope, nope. This is important. This is what I do with my downtime. And
Yeah.
I'm playing Sonic.
Let's go.
I'm playing Revenge of Drancon, which was Wonder Boy. I'm
Mhm.
playing Shinobi on the Game Gear, by the
You
way.
better have been playing
Oh,
that.
Yeah.
yes.
You better have been
Shinobi
playing that Shinobi, baby. You
on
better
the
have
Game
been
Gear
playing that.
was incredible. And so
Hmm.
thankfully, Nerd Network radar goes off. I find another guy on the team who has the Atari Lynx, which
Ooh,
is
I'm the
another
Lynx guy.
handheld.
I was the Lynx. I was the
Yep.
only Lynx guy in the
Yes,
neighborhood. I tried
it's
hard to make that work. I tried so
it's
hard.
it's another beautiful console. So now we're now
Yeah.
we're hanging out at swim meets. We're trading back and forth, and I'm falling in love with Sega at this
Mhm.
point a lot, because this was my glue that held me together while we were doing so much, and I was trying to
Mhm.
get through classes. And I realized that the Game Gear is pretty much a handheld version of the Sega Master
Master
System.
System.
Hmm.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
if you remember, they made this attachment for the Game Gear called the Master Gear Converter.
The
Yep.
power,
And
the power
Our
based
base
converter
converter.
that
well,
would go on top of the Genesis to let
Genesis,
you play Master System games. Yes, yes.
there's
I
there's
had
that
that.
one, but
Yeah.
there's
It's
Yeah,
a different
but
one.
actually
there's one for
Oh,
the
one for
Game
the
educate me.
Gear.
Game
Here,
Gear.
there's one for the
Oh,
There's
Game
one for
Gear.
the
educate me. I
Game
didn't know
Gear.
about this
Yeah.
one.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
so it's a Master Gear Converter. I should have brought it here. I have one.
Wow. Okay.
And it allowed me to start playing Master System games on my Game
Yep.
Gear. And
Mm.
why that's significant is at that time, Master System was
I see it
starting to
now.
phase out,
Yes.
and it was hard to find games for it, but you still could. And so I
It's
started learning
awesome.
that I could go to flea markets and find games on the cheap.
Dirt cheap.
I could go to garage sales, and I was starting to become this Sega collector. I was collecting Master System games, I was collecting Game Gear games, and really falling in love with the consoles, both Master System and Game Gear. And so I'm
Yes.
playing Alex
Yes.
Kidd,
Let's go.
I'm playing Wonder Boy, I'm playing Psycho
Mm.
Fox, which was
Mhm.
another
Psycho
platform.
Fox.
Oh man, and I'm having a field day, and this was
Mhm.
my college career. I still have my Amiga, by the way, in my
Mhm.
in my dorm room. I have it in all the way through college. This thing was still ahead of its time, even 8 years after it came out, 9 years after it came out. And so my gaming tastes and my ability to have a lot of games at once is really kind of snowballing.
Mhm.
And let's fast forward to my senior year in college. My roommate, who is part of my Atom crew, Matt,
Mhm.
is at school with me, and we start playing the Master System at home, and we're playing Alex Kidd in Miracle World, and
Let's
we're like,
go.
I want to finish this game once and for all.
Mm.
And we get to this point in the game, and it's really kind of difficult. We keep dying over and over again. We're like, there's got to be a way to get past this point.
Mhm.
And I remembered that there was a number to call, 1-800 USA Sega.
Oh, that's
Yep.
a hotline. Let's
And
go.
and I don't know if that number still works. I might have to try it after this, but I call the number up. I'm like, somebody there has to know how to help me get past this. And
Mhm.
sure enough, someone answers the phone. I was like, hey, I'm playing Alex Kidd. I'm playing Psycho Fox. These are the games I really like on the Master System.
Mhm.
And they were enamored. They're like, you're playing the Master System. Everyone's on Genesis, but that's so cool.
Mhm.
Let me mail you some photocopies
Hmm.
of tips and tricks for each of the
Wow.
games. And
Hmm.
Wow.
in the mailbox, I get these printouts for Psycho Fox and for Alex Kidd in
Oh,
Miracle
this is
World. I
awesome.
think I still have them somewhere. And this lady that was working at Sega that answered the phone signs, makes a really nice note. Here you go. Call us back if you have any issues. And she signs it, Judy Jate.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there going, this is amazing. She works at Sega. Gosh, to have a job there, that would be incredible.
Oh,
And
hell
so
yeah.
I'm just floored. We look at the tips and tricks, and sure enough, there was something about this exact trouble that we were having with this one section about how to get past it. And it was like a little wiggle move as you're coming down the level, and you could get past it. Long story short, I'm kind of in love with Sega at this point. I
That's
am
right. As you should be. As you
all
should
in,
be.
all in. And
This guy here.
Yes.
I graduate college, get home. I have I get a job. I actually start coaching swimming. I'm giving back to the team that I grew up swimming on.
She's still doing the swimming. Wow.
I'm coaching, and I talk about video games with the kids all the time. I bring video games to swim meets. I actually brought Virtual Boy to the swim meet for the kids to play in between races.
Not to cut you off,
yes.
but every job that I was at, I was a community center director. I made it integral to our downtime that video games were a reward for great behavior. And right now I'm working with Denzel Washington High School, and with Hip Hop Gamer, we're introducing video games in schools. But every place that I was working, and especially with the youth, I wanted them to know that, okay, if you think I'm cool, well, then playing video games is even cooler. And I want you to spread the gospel. So I'm listening to you spread the gospel wherever you're going. And this you were the gaming messiah. You were walking across the land spreading gaming to everyone
kids.
that would listen. And trust and believe, it had a huge impact because I have kids that will to this day say, yo, you were the first one that brought Street Fighter.
Oh,
Because Cog remembers I had a Famicom, and I brought the Japanese Street Fighter, and it was out a year before it came to the States. And, I was, showing the kids this because at the end, they didn't have money to go to the arcade to play, but I had it. So I'm listening to you talk about it, and I'm smiling inside and out because you radiate with that energy of giving and giving back, and you giving back from the heart. So this is wonderful. So you're at the swim, you're the coach, and you're showing video games. Keep going. I'm sorry.
I know. And King, we talked about this at the beginning too. Like your foresight into needing and making sure you could play the latest and greatest, even to the point where you're getting imports before they come out in the States. It resonates with me so much because that is how my mind works. It's how my mind worked. It's still how my mind works. It's just so awesome to meet like-minded people like you guys. Like I feel so at home, and I felt that immediately when Cog and I met. I felt that immediately, King, when we talked last week, and it's such a blessing. I feel very lucky, and
absolutely.
Man, that you're working with Hip Hop Gamer, one of my earliest content creators that I worked with while I was at 2K, and we'll get there.
We go get there.
We'll get there. So I'll keep moving forward because I'm afraid I don't want to run out of time.
I know. You good?
So graduate. I'm bringing consoles. I'm working at the local daycare on campus at one of the elementary schools, and I bring an Atari Jaguar in.
See?
Oh, you brought the Jaguar?
Yeah.
You brought that damn Cybermorph? Where did you learn how to fly?
That's right. So
why did you scar the kids like this, Mike?
I brought in Bubsy. And I brought in, and Rayman.
Bubsy and Rayman played best on the Jaguar when it first came out.
And we got to bet on another country. We got to bet on what is it, Alien versus Predator?
Alien versus Predator.
Incredible. Those incredible alien sounds off in the background.
We waited a while to get that game, but it came. It showed up.
So, and this whole time, I am like a fiend. I'm out there buying games at the local flea market. Every weekend I'm going to the flea market. I'm going to KB Toy Store to get closeout games. I am going to Electronic Boutique.
Electronic Boutique.
I'm the guy that's like out there amassing this library. And
Hmm.
in my mind, I'm thinking, I don't want to be stuffy, but I want to be one of those stuffy dudes that has the ladder that you move the ladder down in your library to go get something off the top shelf, but it's not going to be books. It's going to be video games. So
Man.
and in my head, this is real. Like this is going to happen. I
Yes.
want to do that. That's my goal in the future. And so I'm working at the local school. I'm coaching swimming,
Mm,
and I think, well, maybe I should go and be a teacher,
mm,
because that's a natural progression. I'm already teaching pre-K. I'm already working at the daycare. I'm already coaching swimming. I'm working 3 jobs at once, and so I've just got married to my wife Kim, and
mhm,
she's a teacher as well. And so it's kind of like it's around me, and I'm like, okay, this is a natural progression, and I'll be
mm,
able to talk about video games with the kids. This is okay. And I go to the first day of the credential program and come home and tell my wife, I'm like, this is not working out. I don't know that this is what I want to do. I
mm.
think there's something else out there for me. And she turns to me point blank and says, every time we drive by the Sega building in San Francisco, you say you want to work there. Every time we go to a flea market, you talk about games very knowledgeably. You talk about the history of games. You know every console, everything.
Mm.
Why don't you try to get a job in gaming? And
That's big person.
even though I knew some people that had, it still felt like this unattainable thing. I was like, well,
Correct.
how do I go about doing that? And so this was 1998,
Hmm.
and I'm thinking, what do I do? I look at the classified. So I look at Craigslist, I look at the newspapers, and I start scouring and looking for jobs. And one of the first interviews I got was with MVC, which is the European IGN at the time.
Okay.
But
Okay.
they're a cool outlet. I think they're still around, and
Mhm.
I really liked them because they covered lifestyle. They weren't just like gaming news. It was like the lifestyle around it as well. And
Mhm.
I was really enamored by this. So I go interview there. Timing didn't work out, and I'm feeling a little dejected. And so then I'm still scouring for jobs, and Craigslist, I find this very generic job posting for video game tester. It says video game tester, $10 an hour, call here. That's all it says.
That's all it said.
And
Okay.
and if you and this was $10 an hour at the time, was more than minimum wage. So I'm like, okay, this is
Okay.
this is good.
Okay.
Um, but if you saw an ad like that today, that would be a scam, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you
it
would
was
Yeah,
sketch,
it'd be
yeah.
sketch
someone
like,
like,
Very,
yeah,
very, yeah,
very
very much sketch.
sketch,
yes,
Or down a very dark alley.
dark path.
that's right.
Yeah, you play, you're coming in to play Leisure Suit Larry.
That's
Definitely
yes,
sketch.
deep cut.
Deep
So
cut.
Yeah.
So I call the number, and it's this temp agency, and they say, well, why don't you come down and interview with us? I have no idea who the job's with, what it's for.
Okay.
And they were like, come down in a week and we'll interview you. And this whole time I'm thinking, I need to prepare for this thing.
Right.
This is my chance. And it really, really was like holding over my head, like this was a moment. I knew this had to be something special. And so I start documenting on my Commodore Amiga still, by the way,
Hmm.
all of the games that I've been playing, that I own, have played, and I built this binder, a list of games I've owned, played, and finished,
What's the resume?
and was ready to bring it in with me, thinking they'll want to know. They're going to ask me questions, and sure, I'm not going to lie about
Talk
what
to
I
me.
finished and what I haven't. There's no
Right.
way I'm going to do that because these people will know. They will
Yeah.
know. They're going to find a
They're
game
gonna
that you
find
can't
out.
finish, and they're going to ask. And so I'm getting this thing ready,
This man is
and
prepared.
He brought
I
his trophy list.
He brought the
it's
physical
like this
version.
thick. It's this thick. And so I go into the interview, and it was the temp agency, and the person interviewing me didn't know much about games, but she knew about placing people for the job. And so she
Okay.
asked me a little bit about my history. I bring this binder out, and she's like, "Whoa, okay, let's send you down for the interview at Sega."
Whoa.
Like at 10 minutes into it, she's like, you need to go down and interview with these guys. So another week
Okay.
goes by,
Mm,
and I'm nervous as all get up. I'm
of
interviewing
course.
at Sega
Let's
for
go.
a Dreamcast test job. And
Oh,
Oh,
Oh
is
yes, this
I
is it.
I
Wait,
couldn't I
let
couldn't
me
believe
back
it.
you up. Wait, hold on. Let me
Yes.
back you up because
Yes.
you're not going to skate past this, the
Okay.
significance of this. Now, at the time you're going for this game testing job, is the Sega Dreamcast announcement? Is it existed? Is it known about at this time?
It's known
What is
about.
okay?
Does
So
it
it's known about. Is it out in stores at this time or
It's not out in the stores. So
Mhm.
this is a great question.
Okay?
This is the Dreamcast had launched in Japan.
Mm,
It was in kiosk and mind you, this is 26, 7 years ago. So I always caveat like when I'm talking
yeah.
about this, timelines are a little muddy. I believe that there was a Dreamcast kiosk in GameStop or EB at the
Okay.
time, but it hadn't launched yet. And it was
Okay. Got
just
it.
before it was about to launch.
Got it.
And I remember seeing the GamePro magazine and a screenshot of NFL 2K,
Oh my
Mm.
god.
and you could see the offensive line
Oh
and
my god.
the breath
Coming out
coming out the mouth of the of one of the players. The
visual concepts. Let's go.
and I'm sitting there going, this console is insane.
Insane.
I have a chance to work here, and I'm thinking this is incredible. So the timing is September, right as the console is about to launch.
Oh,
I'm
you
going in
before
for the
nine
interview.
nine
So
ninety
like
nine.
a 1 week before,
Oh, let's
and
go.
I
This is
go in for the
awesome.
This is
I
awesome.
go in for the interview, and it's a panel of Sega testers. And I
Okay.
remember the
I want
panel
to know how
very
this
well.
process works. Continue. Nosy
So
now.
there was the assistant lead of the group.
Mhm.
There was a lead tester in there, Abe Navarro, who still works at Visual Concepts this day. We'll talk about him in a minute.
Wow, legend.
There was another guy, Steve Peck, who was known for having a Sonic tattoo. So like he appeared in a couple magazines for having a Sonic tattoo. He was the tattoo guy. Amazing, amazing guy.
Sonic in the building.
And you know, one other head of test in there, and it was a panel. And
Mhm.
so I walk into this interview. I bring my book of games and
Let's
and
go.
drop it on the table,
That's what we
and
do.
they start asking the hard questions.
Oh,
And it's, what are you playing now? What have you played? What have you finished?
Mm.
And I felt confident in answering these questions. Here's what I like. Here's what I don't like. Here's what I
Mhm.
play. Here are some bugs that I found while I was playing games, which they loved to hear that.
They love that.
And little did I know, Abe
Mhm.
Navarro, he's the head of my team on NBA 2K now. Um,
Mm.
he he was particularly interested in me because I had played ice hockey. And I
Mhm.
didn't get into this in my college story very much,
Mhm.
but I swam for 3 years. I was tired of swimming, and I decided to do something crazy and join the club ice hockey team at Davis. So I might be the
Oh,
only person at UC Davis to ever play ice hockey and swim
Yeah, that's unique.
in the same college career. It's and
he got
par for
something
the
with Bill
course.
Stillwell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shout
Yeah,
out to our boy Bill Stillwell. Yep.
yeah.
So I played ice hockey my
Mhm.
senior year, and then I had 1 quarter to finish after my senior year, and I played ice hockey for another year at Davis. And this was on my resume. And Abe had this very kind of stern look on his face during the interview, and he goes, "Tell me about hockey." And I was like, what do you mean?" He's like, "Well, you says you played ice hockey at Davis on your resume."
See if you
I put
lying.
it on there as just like and I also do this, but
Yeah.
was very keen on knowing about this. So I said, well, I played ice hockey. I love NHL 94, NHL 95. By the way,
Oh, I see
96,
where
I
this is
didn't like
going. I
so
see
much.
where this is going.
And he said, well, we're going to be testing an NHL game here at Sega. And, you know, I think you'd be perfect for the job. And sure enough, that moment was, Abe was like, we're bringing this guy in. And I get the job immediately.
Awesome.
He
Mm.
said,
So did you see something that you did that you thought that was minor that somebody else saw as major, and that was very integral because you had a working knowledge of what hockey is
mm-hmm.
and what the rules are. He didn't have to sit there and teach you anything. It was something that you came in with knowledge, and something that you thought was minute other people actually value. So that was great that you put it there as I do this. And I'm talking to my son now, and that's the only reason why I'm saying this, because I'm like, you got to do more sports. You got to
Mhm.
try more things. So when you do put in these college applications, they
Mhm.
see one, well, you play well with others. Two, you understand team concept. And three, you are well rounded in the sense that you can get along and, do things. And he's getting that now. And I can't wait for him to watch this interview. So I could be like, see, Dante, I told you so. If you want to be at Sega, well, you better learn other things like ice hockey. But
I
this
love
is
That's
this.
this
amazing,
is
and
great.
so it's so true. I had no idea that decision to not swim, which by the way disappointed my dad.
Oh yeah, the
To
family had to
like
be.
he was
Yeah.
like, this you're swimming for a college. This is amazing. Why are you
Mm.
going to do this? And I've loved ice hockey my entire life, which we'll get into that some other time because I
Hmm.
don't want to take too much time. But
Hmm.
since I was little, I was fascinated with ice hockey, and I don't know why. I grew up in California. It doesn't match, but this is me.
That's
Things
what
don't
you
match
like.
with me.
It's the
Uh,
patch, the passions, brother.
so I didn't know that decision was going to be integral into me getting into video games.
That's so
That, like,
crazy.
if I would have thought maybe me knowing a foreign language, maybe me
Yep.
knowing econ, maybe like all these other things. But
Ice
that
hockey.
was the one thing that I think guaranteed me the job.
Mm.
That, along with my ability to talk about games on a level that they expected. And
Mm.
Right.
it was I like this, I don't like this. I saw this problem when I played this. Oh, when this franchise made this change,
Hmm.
I didn't like it anymore. And
Giving
I
that
was very,
feedback.
very
Hmm.
honest, and they appreciated that. And also being honest about what I did do and what I didn't do.
Right. That
And
transparency. Yep.
I'm sure you've seen this in gaming. There's a lot of I hate to use the term because it's really for military, but there's a lot of stolen valor in gaming. Like people make
Hmm.
claims. Like,
Yep.
Hmm.
I did this. I am responsible for this,
Hmm.
and I wanted from my day of having a chance to be in gaming, I was like, I'm gonna be completely honest about everything I do, and still to this day, I still do it.
Absolutely.
I was there for these events that we're going to talk about.
Hmm.
I am not solely responsible for these events because gaming is a lot of people putting in hard work on a
Facts.
lot of different things, and
Facts.
one person can't take credit. And
Facts.
and even back in the day, one person can't take credit for even an arcade game. Like while there might be a lead designer who gets a lot of credit for it, there are a
Hmm.
lot of people involved in the whole process.
Absolutely.
Artists, programmers, sound designers. Like there's so many people. So I really try hard to not say I did it.
No,
I
smart.
was part of a group that did it, and I still fully believe in this. And this
100%
is the
agree.
beauty of gaming. So I get the job at Sega.
Let's go.
I am floored. I walk into the test department my first
Hmm.
day and
Hmm.
a little bit overwhelmed. They give you a quick orientation.
Hmm.
I walk in and there are probably 100 people in this big open floor room. There are cubicles, but in each cubicle there are two people.
Hmm.
And the person kind of giving me the tour of the floor is like, yeah, sometimes we have 4 people per cubicle, depending on where we're at in game launches. So the group expands and contracts. And the
Gotcha.
reason they use a temp agency is that there's so much contracting and expanding that they just need to be able to bring people in and out.
Hmm.
And so in my mind, kind of hearing that, I'm thinking like, oh, this could be a fun month or a fun couple months, and
Right.
maybe it'll
Right.
be over. Like I
Mhm.
don't know. And so I'm walking through these halls and I'm pinching myself.
I'm here, baby. I'm in the
The
building.
sounds I am hearing in here, I'm hearing Crazy Taxi, I'm hearing Virtua
Ooh.
Tennis.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm hearing NFL
Tennis.
2K, I'm hearing NBA 2K,
Let's
and
go.
all of these people are playing and they have televisions next to them and they have VHS recorders recording every moment of them playing.
VHS.
And it felt right. Like it felt I
Mm.
needed to be there. And I finally get introduced to a lead tester. Every game has a lead tester. They're in charge of building a test plan and how to find all the bugs in the game. And this lead
Hmm.
tester was the lead tester on NBA 2K. And so my
Mm.
first day at work, I'm handed NBA 2K
Oh
pre-launch.
man, let's go.
And he
I
says,
I vote with a cover.
well, most of my my team, and usually you're assigned a group of testers for each game.
Hmm.
He's like, most of my team of 12, they've been assigned different things. I don't have a specific assignment for you. So he said, go break the game. Just go play it and go break it. And I sit down and I start thinking about what would someone do to break this game? How can I break it? And
Hmm.
I think I'm gonna foul everybody out on the bench and see what happens. Foul everybody out, right?
Yeah.
Get them kicked out. Like what's gonna happen when
What's
there's
gonna
nobody
happen?
left?
The
And
play,
what's
yeah.
the NBA rule about that? And
Hmm.
so sure enough, I foul everybody out and it breaks the game. And
Mm.
I write my first bug, and it's like when the player and I'll get into the bug writing a little bit, but the bug writing was very specific. It was a taught process, and it had to be so that a producer and a programmer can read it back and recreate what happened
Yep, you got to replicate
to a
the issue.
T. You got to
Yes.
replicate the issue. So it was very specific language. So I write my first bug, and people are there to edit your bugs and make sure it can work well. And this was partially because programmers need to recreate it, but also a lot of these were being translated into Japanese for
Oh, that's
the
right.
Japanese
That's right. That's
developers.
right. That's right. That's right.
And so it had to be recreatable. So I
Mhm.
make my first bug is fouling everybody out. And apparently Greg Thomas, the head of Visual Concepts,
Mhm.
sees this thing.
Okay.
And now I have a number on my back. Like I am now in his sights, and but he actually likes it. He's happy that I did this. So we'll get to that. I'm planting a little seed, but
Yep, yep, yep,
okay,
yep.
so I've already started making a name for myself a little bit here.
The
And
guy that's
it's
fouling out all the players, breaking. I love this. I love this. Yes.
it's a very competitive environment. Like I don't know if you guys have seen Grandma's Boy.
Mhm.
It's an Adam Sandler flick about video game testing, but
Yeah.
I avoided the movie for a long time because I didn't want to see a movie about the industry I was in. But it's actually very real, and
Okay.
there's everything from lunchtime battle. So when we get to lunch, what do? You don't eat your lunch. You go sit down to the person next to you and play a game against them. So we're playing Power Stone at lunch. We're playing DOA 2. We're playing NFL 2K, which had come out now by the time I started working there. And so like your pecking order in the test group is kind of your prowess on these games.
What type of Spartacus training is
It's crazy. And one other thing we're playing,
the wolves.
we're playing 10-player Bomberman on the Saturn at lunch.
Oh,
And
Yes.
another one like this, these are your pecking orders, and I'm able to hang with these guys, and I don't pretend to be this incredible gamer. I don't hold any world records. I'm not, but I am someone that's persistent and can learn a game, especially the more time I spend with it. And then I get to this point where I'm so good at it that it demoralizes other people. But it takes me time to get there.
you like Tom's brother.
Yeah.
The demoralizer.
Demoralizer. We had a nickname for it. We would call him the demoralizer.
Yeah,
Because he would just put an ungodly amount of time into these games, more than we had.
Mm-hmm.
And then the time you see him again, he's so much of a savant that it becomes annoying, and he's beating you with the level of intricacy that you're like, wait a minute, I showed you this game, and now you're dominating.
And the thing is, in the beginning, when you first play him, you can beat him.
Yeah.
Second time you play him, you can hang with him. Next time you can't touch him. And when he gets to the untouchable part, when he's Neo in the Matrix, when he's that guy, he's telling you what you're doing
need to be wrong.
And you still can't beat him.
And you can't beat him. He's like, you should be at range 2 right now because you're range 3. And once you close the distance, I'm gonna do a demon grab. And I'm like, if you don't shut up.
And it's annoying because we don't want to hear the advice from him. We taught him.
Don't beat me and tell me what I'm doing wrong. It's crazy.
And look, everybody is a different kind of gamer. There are some people that can pick up a game and know immediately how to play it without reading or knowing anything. They're like, this is what you're supposed to do. This is what this is. I've got this available to. There are guys that are like that, guys and gals. There are people that take time. I'm one of those that takes time and then gets good. And I love hearing about the demoralizer because I feel like that's my camp. So I'm holding my own during lunch breaks. I'm making a name for myself a little bit. I'm still heavily intimidated. I mean, this is a group of super talented people. The nickname for the test group at Sega was University of Sega because a lot of people would go on to do great things. They would go on to
Nice.
be game directors. They would go on to be designers, like all these
Wait,
different things.
wasn't that wasn't that an Easter egg inside the commercial where they had for the Dreamcast all the teams and everything ready to rumble, everybody showing up, and it said University of Sega. Am I wrong? I just got goosebumps. But
So
did they give y'all a shout out?
they I don't think it said University of Sega, but it said something similar. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that they were giving us a shout out. I don't want to
Yeah.
draw a conclusion there, but it definitely the environment was definitely that.
Oh, okay.
It was super competitive, but in such a great way that we were pushing each other to be
Greater.
awesome.
Great.
Steel sharpens
And
steel.
steel sharpens steel. And so I'm writing bugs, I'm working on games, I'm working on Toy Commander, I'm working on
Oh yeah.
I'm working
Toy
on
Commander,
Virtua
that's
Tennis.
amazing.
I'm
I
working
love Virtual
on
Tennis. I
such a
love
good
that
game.
game.
Such a
Did
good
they
game.
have? Did they have the license, but they had to rip off like players that they looked like Pete Sampras, but it wasn't Pete Sampras.
Well,
Like
it was the first game, and then the second game got licensed players.
the license,
Yeah,
yeah. But I remember
Yeah.
the first game because I was like, I know that's Pete. That's supposed to be Andre
It was
Agassi.
like-
we gonna act like you know what I'm saying.
Well,
Continue,
don't
continue.
forget,
Supers.
Yes.
Arthur Ashe was the boss at the
The
end,
boss
and
at
they called him King because they had to
Yeah.
take his name out of that too.
Yeah.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
and
Continue.
so I'm just loving everything I'm working on,
Amazing.
and I start working on NFL 2K1.
Oh, one of the goats.
And this bug I wrote for NBA 2K starts to come full circle.
Mhm.
That Visual Concepts eventually, every once in a while they would bring someone from Sega up to their studios in Marin
Okay,
County to
okay.
work on games. And I'm working on NFL 2K1, and sure enough, I get this phone call. Do you want to come up and work on NFL 2K1? We're testing the network.
Oh, that's right, because the
Mode.
introduction of the online
Yeah.
mode,
Mhm.
because Dreamcast did have the modem.
The
right?
modem, yeah.
All right,
Correct.
Continue.
And these guys are so talented. I mean, we can spend another time talking about them,
Mhm.
but they have a network programmer who was able to make the 56K modem run like broadband.
Mhm.
And
Wow.
he's
What?
kind of putting this thing together. He's like, come up and test it. We need you to break it again. We need you to do what you did with NBA 2K. And
The breaker.
Like the breaker.
Breaker.
Like
The
I-
breaker
Rhinehart,
of games.
the breaker.
The
So-
breaker of games.
that was his Spartacus name. The breaker
The
of
breaker.
games.
Breaker of games.
I love it.
Continue. I love this. I love this.
Thank
Yes.
you for the name.
I love that.
And they bring me up there for 5 days straight. I end up working 100 hours in these 5 days,
Oh my
and
God.
even I live nearby their
Mhm.
studio, but they put us up in a hotel because we only got to sleep 4 or 5 hours, and they bring us back in, and we keep working. And we're getting the online ready for this first demonstration.
His working conditions are interesting.
Crunch.
His working conditions are interesting.
That's
It
the
was
way
the
to put
first
it.
time the game was going to be
Interesting.
online playable in front of public before it came out. Like it was going to be a press event that they were going to show this. And so
Oh yeah.
we're finding, divergences like, hey, that everything's playing great. And all of a sudden, what one person is seeing on the screen wasn't what the other person was seeing on the screen. The game kind of diverted. And this happens in online gaming as you're programming stuff. Like the diversion thing is real. And we're finding bugs. By the end of the week, things are pretty well buttoned up. They're tuned up. I am exhausted,
Got to be.
but the game is playing great,
Nice.
and they were happy. And I get sent back to the Sega test department, and I kind of have to tell stories to the other guys, like, "Hey, I was up at Visual Concepts for the week. It was incredible." And it was just kind of a cool little feather in the cap. And new games were coming into the test department, and this new game called Choo Choo Rocket
Ooh.
Remember that?
Yeah.
comes into the test department. And Choo Choo Rocket, cute game from Sonic Team. It was online playable. And they said, well, you just spent a week up at Visual Concepts working on online testing. I think we're going to make you the assistant lead tester on this game. And sure enough, I get put onto this game. Little did I know that Abe is upset because NHL 2K is coming in, and he was like, "I wanted you working on this."
Oh yeah, that's right. You and your man, baby. Let's go.
and Visual Concepts is like, wait a second, he's working on sports games and you're putting him on this game, but it's
Mhm.
online playable. So anyway, I come up with test plans on how to test online gaming on the Dreamcast, which there was no protocol. There was nothing. I
Right.
had to like pull
Tra
this out of thin air. And
Trailblazer.
I write up this full test plan, and part of the test plan was even getting ISPs, and I'm again talking
I
archaic
love this. You
technology.
know, you
No, no,
talking that
no, no.
talk.
A lot of
IS
people is ITs as well
Yes.
that
yes.
watch us. So go ahead.
So
It's awesome.
internet service providers
Providers.
were
Yes.
Yeah.
local to where you lived, and
Right.
I basically procured, I think, 150 across the country so that I could make sure the game was working. Whatever ISP you were dialing into was able to play against another one from another place. And I was even getting ISPs from Canada and all around the country just to make sure the game was working properly. And I was part of the test protocol, which eventually became part of the testing protocol while we were on dial-up. And so I again start making a name for myself because this wasn't set in stone how to do this, and I developed a way to do it. And
Hmm.
Sonic Team was really happy. They happened to be actually local at the time. I don't know if you knew this, but Sega had moved the entire Sonic development team into San Francisco because they wanted them to get the taste of
American
the
culture.
U.S., of
Okay.
American culture.
Hmm.
And so I become close with these guys. We hang out. I
Dope.
bring them to my house. We play, arcade games, and they're like, "This guy's nuts." He's and and yes, I had arcade games at the time. I had video game collections at the
Mhm.
time. I assumed everyone did. I just
Now,
thought
did
that
you have
that's
that robust arcade
I started. It was
garage?
starting.
It was starting
So
that you
it
showed
was
us. Okay,
starting.
good.
So I think I had 5 games at the time, 5 arcade games,
Hmm.
and I had a ton of consoles that I had masked, and I had them
What
set up so they were all
Yeah,
playable.
what was the
what
five?
what
Yeah,
what was the five? Was
it was the
Dragon's
five.
Lair one of them?
It wasn't. That was definitely one I wanted, but the reason and I was very particular about the games I got. The reason I didn't get Dragon's Lair is because once you finish that,
Mm.
Yeah.
it was not as much fun to play afterwards. And I was like,
Yeah, I
these
got you.
these arcade games are a commitment. It's
Yeah.
almost like
Yeah.
getting a tattoo, right? Like
Yeah,
this is gonna be with me for life. So
for life.
I started picking games that had longevity, that had unique controls. And so my
Mhm.
first game was 720, which was a skateboarding game.
720. I
Oh,
remember
Yes,
wow.
720.
720.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
bought it at an auction for $200 and
Nice.
Mm.
uh, pulled
Got
the
my
band-aid
ones.
off, brought it home to
Nice.
everyone's dismay, and they were like, "What are you doing? That is a monstrosity."
Oh
And then
yeah,
from there, I added,
King knows about my style. I did the same thing. Got my from an arcade distributor in Texas. They were running out. Got it on eBay. The abbreviated story is I thought that when shippers and you bought this, I'm living in South Bronx. I ordered this thing from Texas. A big Optimus Prime style trailer truck drops on this small one road. He drops it off in the
in
crates
the crate.
and then leaves. So I'm like, wait a minute, you got to bring it in the house. He's like, no, my job is done. So
Yes.
then I had to call King and Mr. High, some bigger gentlemen to protect this arcade unit of Shinobi that I had because that was the commitment. I said, if I want to own a game, this is my dream game. I've always wanted this is the game I loved and fell in love with. I fell in love with Sega, and then I had to call movers, and then they had to get this monstrosity up a 3 flights of steps in a private house. It was insane. So
Oh
it's
my
funny. I
gosh.
I relate to that, and my mom was like, "What are you doing? This is insane." And I was like, "I have to
Yes.
have it." And then my second one was Rolling Thunder, but continue.
Rolling Thunder is a great one. Atari.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I get Dig Dug, I get Super Pac-Man,
Okay.
Okay,
Oh,
and
okay.
then
Super Pac-Man.
yep, Super Pac-Man, which was a much more difficult version of Ms. Pac and regular
Yes,
Pac, and it wasn't a huge hit for them, but I
correct.
start liking these kind of quirky
Quirky ones.
these games that developers made after they had their success, and I
Yes.
it's kind of my sweet spot where a
Mm.
developer hits a mass hit, they hit another mass hit, and then they get to make what they want to
They
make.
want to make.
That's
hmm
what I want to play. And
Okay.
it ends up oftentimes not being the
Not
most
being the big
popular.
one, but it's your favorite.
It's
Yeah,
my
one of your
Yeah.
favorite
favorite. Yeah.
because the thought process, the difficulty, everything that went into it,
Mhm.
it's my jam. And so yeah, so I start adding games. Um, from there, I have my console set up, and so I'm bringing the Sonic guys over to the
Put
house.
Sonic Team
They're
in.
like, "This guy's nuts. What is
Love it.
going on?" And
Love
and
it.
the whole time I'm thinking this is normal. I think everyone's like this. Like,
Everyone does
especially
this.
isn't this what we all do?
Yeah.
And I launch Choo Choo Rocket. That went very
Mm.
well. They were happy and without bugs. And let me remind you, there were no patches back
There's
then.
no
If
patches.
Yeah.
Talk to people. Talk to them.
if a game
Educate
comes
them.
out with a bug, that's it. Your career's over, especially as a lead
Yep.
tester. Like you are done. If you let something a showstopper, like there
Yep.
might be
A
some,
game
maybe they're
breaking
like a
bug.
minor, a game breaking bug. That is it. You're
That's it.
done. And
That
this is
pressure.
also in the back of my mind all the time. Like as I'm
Oh yeah.
testing these games, and I'm just like, I'm gonna keep going till the rug gets pulled out from under me.
Hmm.
And so with Choo Choo Rocket, I'm done.
Hmm.
Start testing a few other games. Abe's like, now I can get you back
I was
on
about to say, Abe got to want you
NHLCK.
back at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. And I come into the office one day and there's this big whiteboard and has names of games and who's going to be lead tester on them.
Mhm.
And I see this game, Shenmue, on the board. And
Here we go. The main event.
I
It's the main event,
we
guys.
all knew of this game.
It's the
We
main
knew
event.
it was coming. We didn't know when.
Mm.
And Yu Suzuki
Talk to me.
was a legend in these halls. Like
Absolutely.
and Yuji Naka, Yu Suzuki, these guys would
Shout out to
walk
Naka.
around the
Oh,
offices sometimes
oh, you see
and
that?
around the test department, but it was always like, don't talk to them.
Don't talk to them.
Yeah, if they're coming through, they just want to see how
Mm.
their game's doing in
They'll come through
test.
the
And
rose petals come through the floor when they come through
that's
this.
right. And so I walk in and see the big whiteboard and it's Shenmue and my name is under it. And my heart drops. And I am excited and scared at the same time.
Hell yeah. A lot of
I'm
pressure.
excited because Shenmue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, it's Shenmue.
Suzuki,
I'm
baby.
scared because, oh my God, it's Shenmue.
Yep. AM too.
It's the biggest responsibility for a lead tester to come through this test department in all of the Dreamcast launch cycle.
Mm.
And the reason being is the type of game it is.
Mm-hmm.
And people will argue this forever. So I don't pretend to be the expert on game timelines or anything like that. What I will
Mm-hmm.
say is it is, in my mind, the first open world,
Yes.
real-time
Yes.
NPC interactive experience.
First open world.
And it were there open world games before that? Sure. Were there open world games before that
Like
where
this? No.
like this? No.
No, not with that
And
fidelity.
as I'm excited and freaking out, I'm
Mhm.
thinking about how complex this game is.
Hell yes.
And how am I going to trigger
Break
all
it.
the things that can happen? Well, how am I going to break it? Yes, thank you. Thank you,
Break
King.
your game.
Breaker of
How am I
games.
going to explore everything that this game has to offer?
Yes.
Is this
Just
the game that's going to
imagine
end my
him.
career?
I can
Like,
just
I'm thinking,
imagine
like,
him walking in with a cape and a crown. The breaker of games! The breaker of games! Give me a game so I can break it. It's crazy.
I wish I was oozing that much confidence because I
Yeah.
was scared.
Scared to have the death.
I was scared to
Yeah,
have
true.
this one because it was a daunting project. It was a localization project, meaning we had to go through and review all the text
Think about so
and
much dialogue and voice.
so much dialogue. And it was a bug testing project. It was twofold.
Mm.
And there weren't a lot of instructions. So we were handed the game day one.
Mhm.
And of course I get called into the head of tests office, John Amercon, and he says, are you ready for this? And I was like, thank you so much for choosing me.
Let's go.
I'm shaking in my boots. I'm not letting him see it. Thank you so much for choosing me. This is an honor. I will do everything I can to make sure this game is ready for shipping in the US.
Mhm.
And I get to my desk and I am very scared. And I'm
Hell
very
yeah.
scared because they hand me 3 discs. That wasn't 4 discs at the time. 3 discs. And they were like, start getting into the game and build a test plan based on what you're seeing.
Mhm.
The game had a debug menu. We didn't know how to work it, but the debug menu could get you into different parts of the game and trigger different conversations. They were also going through new voiceover and adding new voiceover into the game. So it was in Japanese, obviously, at first,
Hmm.
and then they were localizing it. And so they had all the
Right.
voice actors come in and do VO and then add it into the game.
Hmm.
And I'm really, really scared because this game is huge,
It's
and
humongous.
it's it's a I want to call it a 40-hour experience. And at that time, that was a very big game. And now we know they're 80-hour, 100 hours. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Oh
at
yeah.
that time, it was huge. And I'm just trying to get my head wrapped around how we're going to test this thing. How am I going to get to see all of the on-screen text? How am I going
Hmm.
to get to hear all the dialogue? How am I going to see all the events?
Yes.
And thankfully, I have this assistant lead tester, Jeff Sedano, who was a genius. He helped me decipher the debug menu and helped me
Mm.
kind of start branching into the game. And so we start branching into the game, and I get my head around how we're going to build this test plan, and I start to feel a little bit better.
Mhm.
As we're doing it, a QTE comes up, quick time event,
Yep. QT.
and I was excited. I was like, "Whoa, this is awesome!"
Yeah.
But then I realized this was a one-time QTE, and I'm starting to think, wait a second. There are things that you'll see once, only once.
Only.
There are things that you may not see at all in your playthrough. There are
Yes.
Oh,
things
yeah.
that happen all the time. There are things that happen sometimes, and it all depends on your timing within the game.
And the time
And
of
so
day. Yep. Yep.
the cloud comes back again. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is going to be an undertaking. So build the test plan.
Mhm.
We start hammering on the game, and the first order of business, bring up all of the overlays in the game so that I can see all the text and make sure there are no bugs. And there were a lot in the beginning because they were bringing the English in, so you
The
would sometimes just
localization.
see
Yeah.
Japanese, you would sometimes see grammatical errors, and so we're documenting all this and we're going through it. We get through all the dialogue,
Mhm.
and I think Shenmue ended up having 4,000 bugs in game, and based around a lot of it based around the text and
Mhm.
the most bugs in any database. But the fact that the game had already been launched in Japan, it was kind of remarkable that we're still running into these things. But
Mhm.
in the process, we're also running into more bugs that didn't get found the first time around. And so we're getting through the game. We are finding bugs. We're documenting. We're recording. I'm working with the dev team with AM2 on
Mm.
sending bug reports, getting on calls with them.
Wow.
It was 6 months of 7 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Mm.
and I'm
Mm.
running two shifts of testers to get through this game.
Wow.
And it was a lot. Like I was in a dark cave for a long time. And
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh
but
yeah.
let me tell you, this was the first moment that I experienced a generational game where this game is going to change the face of video games for the future. And
Facts.
I felt it as we were working on it.
Mhm.
I still feel it to this day. Like
Uh,
it is a moment in time that I can look back and say, like, this gaming is not the same after this game came out.
yes.
And
100%.
I felt so lucky to be able to work on this game. And at the end of the test cycle, 6 months, I'm getting ready to. I've been asked to go on the road to start demoing the game for press.
Mhm.
And Yu Suzuki comes into the office. We're like 6 months. I'm exhausted from all these hours. I'm working weekends. I'm doing everything.
Yeah.
And he comes in to see my demo. What are you going to show the press? And he has a translator. I think he
Oh.
understands some English, but not a
Mhm.
ton. And I bring this
Mhm.
pile of VMUs with me
Mhm.
where I have different save points in the game. And so I have this stack of 8 VMUs in my hands.
You got
And
to
I
listen to
walk up
this solve. This is funny.
I walk up to Yu Suzuki and he says, very nice to meet you, Mike-san. And I said, thank you, very nice to meet you. And I drop a couple VMUs right on his feet. And
Oh,
I'm sitting there going, oh my
oh
gosh, this
no.
my first demo for Yu Suzuki. I am looking like an idiot. And he's smiling.
That's
And
hilarious.
I sit and demo points in the game that I felt were significant that I wanted
Mhm.
to show the press. And he doesn't talk a lot. He doesn't emote a lot, but he's
Mhm.
nodding while I'm doing this. And I'm saying, this is why this moment's special. This is why this moment's, I think we should show the forklift races. We need to show
Yeah.
this
Mhm.
motorcycle scene. And I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but I want people to understand how dynamic this game is. And he starts to talk about free, which is his acronym for what he was
Mhm.
calling open world gaming at the
Mhm.
time.
Free.
Uh, um, and I might be getting that wrong. Am I wrong? I think I might be wrong on that. He had an acronym. It was called, I even wrote it down here somewhere. Full Reactive Eyes Entertainment. It was
Mhm.
free. And so
Mhm.
that was his name for
For
open
what the
world gaming
for what the
was
genre
free.
is. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. And I remember hearing him say that, and I was mind blown. I was like, this guy's brain is operating on a completely other
That
level. Like,
shit.
who thought that you could do this with gaming? And
Mhm.
he did. And he created this world that I fell in love with the characters. I fell in love with the dialogue. I fell in love with the story, with the environment, and it was such an emotional experience for me. And
Oh
then to be
yeah.
able to play kind of and share that with him,
That's
and him
insane.
to concur that he agreed that these are the moments to show. I
Mm.
felt so honored, even after dropping VMUs on his feet, that this was incredible. And
Incredible.
from that
Incredible.
point, I went and demoed the game across the country for Wall Street Journal, for IGN,
Oh,
for every, like, I'm out there demoing the game and talking about it, and I'm traveling with some PR people and a marketing person,
that's awesome.
and they, at the end of the trip,
Mhm.
somebody somewhere, and I don't know the full conversation, they were like, this Mike Rhinehart guy, he can speak intelligently about games. He understands the story behind them. Maybe we should steal him for the marketing team.
Let's
And
go.
It's
after the
funny.
Shenmue tour,
This is funny
There it
because
goes.
he had a temp job from a temp agency
The
that he thought he
rise
will
internal.
only be there for a month.
Mhm.
You got locked in based on hockey, a throwaway item that you put there,
yes,
right? A throwaway item. You had them fighting for you internally
Mhm.
from playing Choo Choo Rocket because you got sent to go do some online stuff. Your thoroughness in games and how you perceive games, because you talk about
Mhm.
how others perceive games. The way you see games, the way your
Yeah.
thoroughness is, the way you come prepared for a situation, you came prepared to a temp agency with a real life trophy booklet of
Mhm.
what you did, and you're prepared so well that even when you meet Yu Suzuki, you had several VMUs with several thought out points of where you feel that
Mhm.
they will best highlight the game. I don't think you give you enough credit for being
Yeah.
prepared for the moment,
Yep.
that the moment never overtakes you. And people are blown away by your preparedness for that moment.
Mhm.
And this is, it's mind-boggling, but you've been a magnet for this situation. You've been preparing for this situation your whole life. You had them at your house playing arcade games because you knew the moment will always show up. You're prepared for this moment. Like this it's your preparedness for the moment is this is that's you. And I'm sitting here and listening to you majestically talk and humbly
Mhm.
talk about how everybody impacted you. You just don't know your impact on
Back on
others.
that.
You're having
Yeah.
a huge impact on me at
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
You, I mean,
oh,
you're telling this guy that this is his game. You're telling him
moment.
this is what's important. This is
Yeah.
what's important, and he's like, yeah, you're right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
No, for sure.
King Sav, like that means the world to me. And yes, I tend not to be the best self-advocator, but I do feel so fortunate, and I know you guys do too, that
Oh yeah.
we get to
This is a
we
dream.
are allowed to play these games and do this.
Yes.
It's a
We
dream.
are afforded this luxury, and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And yes, the gaming industry is ruthless. I'm not going to
Mhm.
sugarcoat it. It is ready to spit you out at any time. I think any
Mhm.
entertainment industry is. But
Mhm.
you and your crew, Cog, Sav, King, you have kept yourselves relevant. You have brought stories to the masses. You continue to do this. You land people like Peter Moore, who we're going to get into as my boss,
Yeah.
and I don't know how we're doing on time, but
Yeah. We get there.
he I am just so thankful to have you guys in my life, to have like-minded people. The nerd network is
Yes.
tingling right
It's
now, and
tingling right now. Yes.
We working,
so
baby.
happy. I'm so
What?
happy,
Yeah.
and I think at the end of the day, like I don't take any of this for
For
granted,
granted. Yeah, you could
and
No.
tell.
and
We could tell.
and
No.
I still don't.
Mhm.
And there have definitely been times that my love of video games have been challenged, and maybe we'll get into it, maybe we won't, but
Mhm.
anytime you're in an industry for as long as I've been, you're
Mhm.
going to face your challenges. You're going to face times where
Mhm.
I equate I it's a terrible analogy, but I always joke like if you work at See's Candy or a chocolate factory or something
Mhm.
like that, at some point you're not going to eat the goods anymore, even though they're the most amazing things in the world, but you have so much of it, like
Mhm.
you can't do it anymore. And there've definitely been points in my career where I couldn't come home and game because what I was doing at work was making it difficult for me to enjoy that at home. And
Totally.
um, we'll get into that, but I
Yeah.
just think that I I I don't I don't discount how special it is to be able to do this for as long
Absolutely.
as I've been doing it. And I still feel like any day like this rug can get pulled out from under me. But King hearing you say that and Sav hearing you say that, like it
Yeah.
means the world to me. Thank you guys for
Yeah.
saying
No,
that, and I
absolutely.
appreciate it.
And to add on, I definitely want to, thank you in reference to that because, specifically the Shenmue moment, again, King was a lot of the arbiter of what's coming next in video games from me and us and our group.
Mm.
And, him having the Dreamcast and early and seeing that. But that particular game is like you said when you were testing it. When you see that game, this is an inflection point in gaming. There is nothing at this point. There may have been technically open world games before it, but nothing represented the genre, the free genre, like that did. And I remember it was so impactful. I remember it like it was yesterday. He came, he brought it over, and then we turned the lights off in my house like it was a movie, like we were watching one of the old 70s kung fu flicks.
Yes.
And we saw Ryu Suzuki approach that house, and you saw the brother come out like something happened, and he
Yep.
went into that dojo, and we saw the amazing Lon D.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like,
Mm-hmm.
what is going on? What's this Phoenix mirror? What's happening? Why is he killing his fault? Like it was a movie. It was transformative. The animation, the graphical fidelity. And again, I'm coming from games should only look that good if it's virtual fighters and it's static one versus one. This is
Mm-hmm.
3D open world with cinematics that transition and has the nerve to have a night and day cycle, to have a
Mm-hmm.
And
nerve to have
weather,
to
yes.
Weather,
get a job.
gamifying like mundane things like opening a drawer and like seeing
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
what's inside the drawer.
bro.
Like,
I
like,
Collecting
remember,
all of the
yeah,
collectible. Like I
bro.
had testers assigned to going to those vending machines and getting every single possible thing out of those vending machines. Like,
Insane. And when it blew my mind when it was the game within the game is
mhm.
going
Yeah.
down to the local store
Arcade,
and it's the
Yeah.
arcade and I'm playing Hang On
God.
in the game. Doom, 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 doom. I'm like, this is amazing. This literally emulation in the game. It had never been done to that point.
Yeah, that was true.
And I'm like, what? Even remember they had the little boxing game when
yes.
when Ryu would
Mhm.
hit the pat, bro. I'm like, I could live in this game forever. There's
Darts at
nothing.
pool.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
darts.
it was, and we spent a lot of time doing the side events, they weren't even side quests at the time. They were just things you could do.
Yeah.
And actually we learned pretty quickly that you could get a bad ending if you dilly-dallied for too long. The game would say, "Oh, game over. That's it. You didn't
But
solve."
You
yeah,
didn't solve that. You didn't solve
Yeah.
anything. Yeah.
yeah. But
Um,
yeah, continue. I just wanted to give you your
uh,
flowers in terms of being able to work on that game And then the legend, Yu Suzuki, who again I've only met once during the E3 in passing, just very brief. I saw it. Oh my God, that's Yu Suzuki. Nobody knows who that is. So I was like, I
Yeah.
know who this is. It's one of my first E3s. And I went up to him, I stopped his team, and I'm like, I just bowed to him. I was like, you are responsible for some of my best video game moments, you and your team. And I told the translator, just please tell this man. He probably doesn't understand what I'm saying, but
Yes.
please understand my appreciation. And the fact that you were able to work with this legend is just amazing to me. But
Yeah.
continue.
What
Yep.
a legend. And he commanded the room. He's very careful and selective about words. Like I have so much respect for him. I still do. He's still working on Shenmue and trying
Uh-huh.
to get funded and release something again. I think it's incredible.
Yes.
And at that time, as Shenmue released, a few things happened. So Sega had announced that they were going multi-platform. So the
Yes.
Mhm.
Dreamcast was being phased out. AM2 announced that they were releasing the US version of Shenmue in Japan. And so this was the ultimate honor bestowed on me as a tester was you guys tested this game so well. We're going to re-release it in Japan because the experience is better now because of what you had done on it. So there was
Mm.
Shenmue US version. I don't know if you've ever seen the packaging for that one, but it got re-released in Japan with all the work we had done on it, with English subtitles, with all the bugs we'd fixed,
Yeah.
different things. And I'm starting to sit in these meetings. I move over to the marketing department. I start to sit in these meetings about what games are still going to come out on Dreamcast and what's going to be canceled. And it was like,
Mhm.
it was devastating to
Oh,
me because the Dreamcast to me, still to this day, is an architectural marvel.
yes.
Yes,
I played Phantasy Star Online
Whew.
bro.
in test, but also at home because
Mhm.
I loved it so much. I got the broadband modem because it
Hell yeah.
worked incredibly well. I had the VGA adapter because that also, I was playing Virtuon with the twin sticks for Dreamcast
Yep.
issues. Like all of these, like this console,
Okay, perfect.
it was arcade perfect. It was Naomi.
Yeah.
It was perfect. So the fact that it was being phased out really bummed me out, but it opened up new doors. And Sega at that time was starting to kind of form these alliances with different games on different consoles. So
I got a question.
go.
And I know NDA's been passed.
Hmm.
Was there any game that you played that got canceled
Yes.
that you was like, damn, I wish they got this game?
Yes. So it was Propeller Arena.
Ooh.
And that was an AM2 game also. And it
Right.
was it was an air dogfight game in different battle arenas.
Mm.
And the reason that one was canceled was because of 9/11. And
Oh,
obviously
Oh,
very
okay.
right.
tragic, but
Yeah, sensitivity towards
Yeah.
there was a scene where you could run planes into
Into the
buildings.
buildings.
Yeah.
So it was canceled.
It's
And
like,
Yeah,
get
sure.
that out of there.
Yeah,
Get
that
that
affect.
out of there.
Yeah, I can see how that
Yeah.
affect
Yes.
game development.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, and then Shenmue 2 was another one that was being developed for Dreamcast, but never made it in the US on Dreamcast.
Mm.
It ended up on Xbox.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And for me, it's funny you said that because as a Sega kid growing up and following all those systems, and I obviously briefly gave you the history with obviously my arcade. I was very enamored by that stuff that led me to that, what that name is, and then led me to those consoles, Master System, and slightly indoctrinated Sovereign to say pick up a Master System instead of NES, and then he ended up getting Double Dragon, and everything stood there. Genesis, Saturn. I was Sega with Sov, and then obviously Dreamcast, but like. It was for me once the Dreamcast, it was a very sad, very crushing moment for me because I'm like, my favorite, company is now kind of out of the hardware business, right? Where do I
Mhm.
go? So when you said what you said in reference to Shenmue 2, I remember seeing Xbox and I remember it felt like home as a Sega orphan
Yeah.
because I was like, okay, I remember Microsoft CE being the
Yeah,
Dreamcast, right?
Yes.
yeah.
And
Windows
then
CE. Yeah.
Shenmue, one of my favorite games of all time. I'm like, wait a minute. Shenmue 2, the game I never played, never knew existed, is now coming out the Xbox. So the transition made it a little easier, say, as far as where's the next console for me to go to. Not that I didn't have PlayStation, because PlayStation came out next and then Xbox after. But it
Yeah.
felt like for Sega kids, Xbox did feel like home because of those Sega games and those relationships. And Shenmue 2 is
Yeah.
very distinct for me as to why I picked that console. I do remember.
The black console in the
Yeah.
USA, and
Mhm.
they always
Online
felt like,
playable out of the
yeah,
box.
Online
Yeah.
play
yeah,
out the box,
it felt like the
broadband.
natural
Yeah.
progression to what the Dreamcast 2 would have been.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, the reason why I had asked, because it was one racing game that I I saw in the arcade. I remember going to an amusement park and I saw it in the arcade, and then I like tracked this game forever, and I thought it was going to come out for the Dreamcast because it had got announced, but it never came out. Scud Racer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it had that roller coaster, and not the roller coaster. It had the pirate ship,
Mhm.
and it would go up and it would come down. I finally wind up getting the game.
Mhm.
Um, I thought that game was absolutely the bee's knees. I'm a racing car
Yeah.
gamer, type of thing. Because I always felt that any racing game can highlight what your console can truly do.
Yes.
Right?
Oh
You can
yeah.
really see, because it can throw everything at it, and in the way that the engines run, if it's a real good console, it can show off some really good stuff. Like you had Ridge Racer for PlayStation, you had Daytona for
Mhm.
Sega,
Yep.
and they made sure that they got finally the definitive version of Daytona with the Dreamcast stuff.
Mhm.
But I was dying for Scud Racer so bad.
I didn't play that one on Dreamcast before it launched.
Yeah.
There were other titles, and I probably have to come back and think
Mhm.
about those hard. But racing games, I did work on Sega GT, which was
Well, that is Scud Race, isn't it? That
Sega
is
Yes.
the
GT.
American
Sega.
version of Scud
No,
Race.
it's Super GT.
So Sega
Right.
Sega GT was supposed to be the Gran Turismo for the Dreamcast, and
Right.
Yeah, that's right. That's
and
right.
so it was a simulation racing title. It had real cars, licensed cars,
Yeah. That's
and
Super GT. Yeah.
Mhm.
and then I worked on Metropolis Street Racer a little bit for
Oh,
evaluation.
yes. Yeah.
Mm.
So
The
I had my
first time I
hands in
saw
a
Kudos.
lot.
Oh my
That's
God.
right. The kudos for the drifting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It so gosh, if I could tell you what the sounds were like and the people, like, just walking through those halls in Sega was,
What?
I wish
That's
I had a
crazy.
GoPro, which didn't exist at the time.
Just
I
Yeah.
could just walk through because
Mm.
I'm hearing these sounds of these different games and the weirdest games ever. Jet Grind Radio was being played.
Check. Oof.
If you remember Seaman, which was the talking fish game for the
Yeah.
microphone.
Yes.
Leonard
There are
Nimoy.
10 testers over here talking into their microphones trying to get this fish that's voiced by Leonard Nimoy doing weird things. Look,
Mine died when I was in school.
sensory overload.
Overload.
Yes, and
Yeah.
yes, your Seaman could die in the tank. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I came home from school. He was dead. I was like, "What?" I learned death at a kid's age. I was like, "This should not be."
It was, yeah, there's some dark moments in those games. So
Mm.
look, we're going platform agnostic.
Yeah.
Sega, and this is all public, but I'm sharing a lot. So some stuff may be public, some maybe not.
Mhm.
And like you said, the NDA's done at this point. I'm fine
Yeah.
sharing it. So
Talk
Sega at
freely.
this point is starting to sour on the sports titles. So
Oh.
they publicly, and this was like, lo and behold, nobody knew this, but I'm in the marketing department. Peter Moore is the VP of marketing at the time. He's not even the president of Sega.
Here we go.
And
Okay, you're right with the guard. You're right with the guard.
Sega
Let's go.
Japan put up, in the press, did an interview and talked about how the sports brand is not performing to expectations. Very, very Japanese thing to
Oh
say.
yeah, oh yeah.
It's like the little bit of disappointment from the mothership,
Mhm.
and this should be doing
Yeah.
better. We should be as strong as EA, but we weren't.
Talk to me.
And we start going console agnostic, and so it
Mhm.
becomes kind of a new moment for sports and the importance of sports. Well, okay, we didn't do as well as EA because the Dreamcast had a limited audience compared to PlayStation 2, compared to PlayStation 1, compared to the other consoles that were
Yeah.
out there. And now we're going platform agnostic.
Yeah.
And NFL 2K2, NBA 2K2,
Mhm.
they launch multi-platform and do well. They do well, but not to the level that EA titles are doing. And as a diehard Sega fan, as a diehard Visual Concepts fan, I knew in my heart of hearts that NFL 2K was better than Madden. I knew that
Hell
NBA
Yep.
yes.
2K
Yep.
was better than Live, and I knew the changes that they made on these games every year were monumental compared to what EA was doing every year.
And World Series baseball should have been better than
And World
than
Series,
triple play.
Tav, you're so right. It should have been better. And that was actually not Visual Concepts. It was an outside developer because Visual
Yeah,
Concepts had their hands full. And so there's all these moments happening, and the sports titles aren't performing. And so
I
Sega starts to
know.
sour on Visual Concepts a little bit. And
Mm.
uh, all of a sudden, that moment that I had been talking about that I thought was going to happen 2 weeks, 3 weeks in, they start announcing layoffs are coming.
Oh.
And
Oh
I'm
man.
sitting here going, oh gosh, this is going to be
Mm.
tough. And layoffs are coming because we aren't performing as well as everyone had hoped. But
Yeah.
look, the games are doing well. Like Monkey Ball comes out on the GameCube. You've got
Mhm.
Shenmue 2 coming out, but they're not these 5 million sellers. They're these 1 million sellers, which are good, but not good enough, right?
Right.
And so we're not finding that major success that we need to find. Sega starts to rethink their US business a little bit and the studio structure and the way things are happening. And they announce these layoffs, and I come into work one day and they're like, okay, this group of people go into this conference room, this group of people go into this conference room. And the people that went into one conference room ended up being
Uh-oh.
laid off. It was terrible. Those
Oh,
things
you
you hear
had the
about.
room of death.
That's right. And
It's not funny.
I'm in the other conference room. It's a really tough
It's
moment because
nerve
people
wracking.
you build relationships with, your
Over the
future, all of
years.
these things are
Yeah.
kind of at stake. And
Mhm.
it's easier for me to talk about it now than it was then.
Of
But
course.
it was a heavy moment, and I get pulled aside. My boss in marketing gets pulled aside,
Mm.
and she and I are told that we're going to move to Visual Concepts. And
Oh, okay.
Greg Thomas, the head of Visual Concepts, specifically asked for Stacy Kerr and myself to be brought over to the studio, and we're going to work at the studio as marketing people.
Gotcha.
And we didn't really touch on the hockey thing and me not getting to
I
test
know.
hockey as much as I was supposed to. I
We
did.
bringing you back. I can already see this is a part
Yes,
two. We got to
exactly.
do a part two. There's no question.
Did,
There's
did
too
you
many
did
things you
you
skipped over.
did you get a chance to say that the person that mailed out that strategy guide, you got a chance to meet
Yes.
her?
Yes. So Judy Jate
Yeah.
does work at Sega when I get there. And I told her, I'm the guy that called you from my college,
That's
apartment asking for help. And she's like, I actually remember that. Oh my gosh. And
that's
yes, I'm
wild.
I'm meeting these great people. And this sweatshirt was given to me, the Dreamcast launch team
Let's
shirt.
go.
Awesome.
When I ended up moving over to the marketing department because they're like, you've been a part of this. You are part of the launch team. You deserve this. And it was another moment. I'm just like humbled and can't believe
99.99,
it.
baby.
And
Yeah.
fast forward to like us transitioning, I get moved
Mhm.
up to Visual Concepts, and my mind shift happens where my now goal is to take on EA and destroy EA
They
because
become
our
the
games are
ops.
better.
They become the ops.
I
Sound
go
like
to
Peter.
bed. I go to bed thinking about this. I wake up thinking about this. I
How
kid
to
you not.
break Madden.
It's on the site. It's on the
How
site.
to- And we have these crazy meetings. It's two marketing people. I go from being a team of marketing people at Sega
Mhm.
with resources,
Mhm.
with creative services department, with video editors, all these
Mhm.
things, and I get brought into Visual Concepts, two marketing people on an island among a bunch of dev people.
Mhm.
And it was great because we had say in how these games were being shaped. They wanted to hear from us. And we also had this enormous amount of pressure that
Yeah.
we better find success
Mhm. So
or we don't know what's going to happen, right? Like, or my job's gone again. I always feel like my
yeah. So I guess this at some point leads into the conversation of 1999 for 2K5.
This is where we're going.
I know where you going
Where we're
right now. This is
going.
another moment right here.
So keep me honest on time, guys, because
All right, we are close to limit, but we got to get this story right
yeah.
here.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
And
But
what
and then
we
we
can do
bringing
is
you back. We're doing a part two.
We
It's just too much.
we could bookend it with this story because
Yeah.
I got some questions with this, and then we know that is very extensive. We could do another 2 hour
Yeah.
sit down like
Facts.
after the
We
holiday.
will.
After we come back from Summer Games Fest, we could just
Yeah.
do another one. But
Wonderful.
But we
just
can't let you not give us this one.
this
This
part.
is yeah.
We're all invested in this
This.
part
Okay.
right here because we were on the Sega side. We was on the
We
visual
was
side.
on the Sega.
We
We
was
was on
on
the
your
PC side.
side. We was
Yeah.
on your
Thank you.
side.
Yeah.
You guys were going to sleep thinking the same thing and waking up thinking the same thing. And
Yes.
these games were so good. I felt it was my job to make sure everyone knew this. And 2K3, tough launch for us. Somebody somewhere thought launching, the feature set was amazing. We brought the entire game to E3. Little did we know, EA comes to our booth and is playing the heck out of NFL 2K and steals the entire feature set and puts it in Madden. And so that was a throwaway year. And
They
I'm going to
stole
kind
the
of gloss
bars?
over some of this.
That's
Yes.
crazy.
2K4, we hire Wyden and Kennedy, the huge Nike marketing agency, to help us. Like, we need something. And we do the Tracy Morgan commercials,
Yes, I remember.
the
Yeah,
ESPN
yeah.
video games deal.
Yeah.
All of these things to help us become more mass market. And again, we just missed. We didn't have the budget to get these commercials everywhere they needed to be. It was the greatest marketing campaign that no one saw. Tracy Morgan was the funniest,
Hilarious.
making me laugh on set. When the director says cut because there's noise going on in the background, there was times where I was laughing so hard that they had to cut and reshoot something because of me. And anyway, so that didn't become as successful as we hoped it was. We introduced first-person football
Yeah, I remember
that year
that.
as well. And we even have this viral campaign, which was unheard of back then, where this Beta 7 tester starts developing issues because he was playing first-person football and starts tackling people in real life. And it was silly, but it was funny as all get up. And the NFL is looking at us like we're crazy. The leagues are looking at us like we're crazy. Like what? Wow, what's going on here? This whole time, unbeknownst to me, but kind of beknownst to me, like I kind of knew about this, but it was rumblings. Sega was shopping Visual Concepts around. Enter Take-Two.
Shout out to Take-Two. New York in the building.
Take-Two, obviously the owners of Rockstar Games and
Yes.
Auto,
Legends.
and huge fans. That little did I know of the 2K sports titles. And they come in and they have the same mindset. They were like, these are the best sports games on the market. We need to do something drastic to make sure that everyone gets a chance to see this. And let's start planning for 2K5. 2K4 was not what it was supposed to be. It was awesome, but it didn't perform the way it was supposed to. Enter 2K5, enter 1999. So
you're broke, Sega.
team.
I mean, you're broke EA. You're broke
this
EA.
is it. It's the moment. It's the moment. Let's go.
This is what I was.
You forced them to act like animals.
We really did.
Tell it, Mike.
So the sales team who is responsible for selling Grand Theft Auto into retailers, they have a huge amount of power. They have a huge amount of power at retail, so they can leverage their ability to distribute or not distribute GTA and get our product into store shelves.
Nice.
Because at the end of the day, a retailer is only going to order how much product they think they're going to sell. And that will limit your ability to sell a lot of games or not. Like if Walmart's only going to take 10,000 copies of a game, your ceiling is only 10,000.
10,000. Facts.
These guys had the ability to flex. And so they said, well, I just won't give them as much GTA if they don't take enough NFL 2K.
Oh, we leverage a relationship.
So that's one
It's the
thing.
Michael Jackson effect.
That's how we do it.
They got Michael Jackson. If you don't play Billie Jean, you won't play Billy Joel. You won't play anything.
That's right.
Let's go.
This is it. This is it.
So then somebody said, well, what would it take to really get this into people's hands? And we actually did a little market research and started reaching out and doing some very underground testing.
Mhm.
What is the price point that's going to get someone to jump from EA to our game?
Bro, this is
And it
cold.
wasn't $10 less.
Mhm.
It wasn't $20 less. It was more than $20 was what it was going to take. And then somebody said, well, what if we just go $19.99 and blow the doors off this thing? Let's get our game in people's hands.
That man shook to death.
This idea came to fruition. Everybody said this is absolutely the right idea.
Mm.
While this is happening, Visual Concepts is creating one of their greatest masterpieces of all time.
Yep.
One of the
is
greatest
NFL
football
2K5.
games of all.
Mhm.
I've done a dissertation on this game for Last Stand Media about why it's one of the greatest football games of all time. Continue on.
It's
Appreciate it.
another generational moment in my career.
Mm.
This game, I'm playing it before it's coming out, and I'm mind blowing. It's so much better than 2K4. The audio with the ESPN integration is so much better.
It's insane.
That
The Chris
halftime
Berman
show?
halftime show,
Mhm.
which was
Insane.
dynamic to what you were doing in the game. Chris Berman was
Yep.
talking about stuff you were doing in the game. And my friend, one of the audio guys, was a good friend of mine. I was just blown away that he was able to pull this off. And he's like, this is how so proud of it. So we have all of these things moving the right direction at the right time. The game is the best it's ever been. This 1999 thing's about to happen. We don't tell anyone. It is the best kept secret. So, normally we have to run things by the NFL, NFLPA, NBA, by MLB, MLBPA, by NHL, like all of them for approval.
Mm.
In the contracts we had with them, our price was not one of the things that they had said.
I can understand it. Okay.
So they had no idea that we
Shout out to the great lawyers.
All right, but let me back you up for a second, 'cause I see where you're going. The one of the biggest questions I had about it was so aggressive how you came as an upstart to throw Madden, which you guys successfully did. But the question I've always wanted to know is the price point being $20. How did you get the stakeholders to say we're going to go down on price and be cool with that? That was the part I was always confused about.
So we didn't get buy-off from the league. And this is where it gets complicated. And I think anyone can deduce this from the outside looking in. So I'm not sharing anything that would be like top secret, even though I'm at this point, how long has it been? 20 years. So
statute of limitations.
It's statute of limitations. Exactly.
You good.
So what the league would have said is you were going to cut into our profits from video games this year by doing this because you're going to sell a lot of 1999 product, which we get this royalty on, against Madden, which is full price.
Yeah.
$49.99, I think at the
$50.
time.
Yeah.
$50. So which they're getting a royalty of this much. And if we rock that boat, the NFL is going to be hurt. The NFLPA is going to be hurt because they're not making as much royalty if we sell more or less priced product than the more priced product. So we don't go to them in advance to tell them that we're doing this.
Yeah, we don't
in fact, I don't leave the building thinking or talking about 1999 for 4 months. I just know that this is about to happen.
Right.
I'm going to bed now thinking we are
rather apologize than ask for permission. Yeah,
that's right.
That's right.
So
we're about to knock them out.
Not only that, we launch ahead of Madden.
The break of Madden is in the building.
So
yeah, I remember this.
So here's something we learned by making the mistakes we made. We launched NFL 2K4 late. We thought give Madden a month and then we'll come out after and people will.
Nah, they already got their game, bro.
They already got their game. So we learned the hard way that that's not what you want to do. We also learned the hard way not to bring full-featured games to E3.
Yeah, because they either snitching and stealing.
Right. You get a portion. You get a portion. You get one moveset.
So we're firing on all cylinders.
Learn your lessons. Battle squad ready.
We have the best sales team available because they distribute Grand Theft Auto. We have the best NFL 2K ever.
Yeah.
About to launch, and we drop. I think it was 2 weeks before Madden. At 1999.
Take his knees out. Chop block.
Let me tell you, all hell broke loose.
Yeah. Yes, it did.
All hell broke loose.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
The game is flying off the shelves. People are like, what is happening?
Oh, yeah.
The whole lineup was 1999.
EA freaks out.
Yep.
They call the leagues. it spurred this whole war that I
Yeah,
never thought was.
you
We
did it.
woke a
The break
sleeping
up
bear.
Madden. You did it.
We did it, and
You.
we poked the bear big time
Yes.
because
Oh
you know what
yeah.
100%.
happened? The first thing that happened,
And
I
they
know what happened.
they
they
took
stomped y'all
ESPN.
out.
They took
So
yeah.
Yeah.
they took ESPN from us. They ripped that out from under us.
Yup.
Luckily, we had the entire year contract with them that the rest of the games that were to come could
Mhm.
have the ESPN license. But they
Right.
pulled that. That was the first thing.
Get
Mhm.
that endorsement off of them.
Then they started going to the leagues and saying, "We will give you whatever you
Whatever you
want
want for
Blank
license.
check.
exclusivity."
We gotta
For
stop
the
these dudes.
exclusive, yeah.
So at this point,
I
the
remember this.
NFL is pissed off. They are mad.
Oh, so they're mad at Visual
They're
Concepts?
mad. They're
Yeah,
mad at Visual
yes.
Concepts because
Yes.
we sell a game at $19.99 for less royalty and cut
Man.
into the sales of
Makes
Madden,
sense.
which
Makes
would bring
sense.
more royalty.
Yeah, Madden
And
did
they're
not sell
freaking
well
out.
that year.
So they're mad. The PA is mad.
Mm.
EA has their ear because
He's
they've
got
been
the
the
leverage,
strongest partner
yeah.
for the longest time. We were always the underdog. And so they start talking about exclusivity.
Mm.
NBA calls us up. They're like, "You're not going to do this again. You're not going to do 1999 again, right? That was a one-time deal, right?" And we're quiet. NBA 2K comes out 1999.
Oh no.
And again, we light the world on fire. And
Yes.
You
people
kill
are
live.
we
You
Yeah,
kill
y'all did
live.
destroy live.
You kill
Y'all
live.
did destroy live. I have to say that. Even though the Madden,
And
yeah.
then he never come back. You
Right.
successfully.
Facts. Yeah, he's there for
You
that.
are the breaker of games. Like that.
Yeah.
That is the new name.
Breaker of
You
chains.
Lord
are
Rhinehart, the breaker of games.
breaker
Yes.
of games.
He was
you,
there.
You have been groomed for this part. This
They was
you
like,
have
he's
been
the one.
ready. Yes,
Yes.
you were well prepared for this. Like you said, you went to bed scheming and trying to figure it out. Like you thought Sega sold us off. We went to 2K. They just sold you to the dude that had the money. And
That's
then
right.
somebody in your crew understood street politics. Somebody
That's
knew
right.
like that guy, he got the best work over there. But if we come out, because we got work just as good as they work. But if we come out at half the price, and then we come out a week before them, you come out an hour before they come out, you was gonna knock them out the box. You forced EA to go to the league and snitch. You forced them to do something that they don't normally do.
They were so out of character because of what it was so disruptive. Okay, Soft.
And they had to pick the baby, right? They had to pick which
Yeah.
baby they were going to save because
Yes.
they ain't save live. They couldn't. They tried, but they couldn't save live,
And
right? And ultimately, the move worked in the NBA sphere. But yeah, they picked football over.
Yeah, they never recovered with
They
live.
kill
with
and they
versus 2K.
kill live too. You technically winning there, right? Y'all guys, he went to bed that night and
is
said,
true.
"I'm gonna kill your whole lineup, like whatever you got." They grabbed one baby, said, "We can only save one baby."
Baby.
They ran out of that burning building with one baby.
Baby.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
This was the greatest year and the saddest year
Yeah,
all at the same time
Mm.
because we were going gangbusters. We made a name for ourselves. Anyone who didn't know about 2K, because we still were the niche sports title, knew about us. We were the best football game on the market at that time.
Not even close.
It was this victory, and I have to remind you that Visual Concepts was 100 and something people. It was small. It was scrappy. We were not a big company. We were a dev team and 2 marketing people compared to this juggernaut called Electronic Arts.
Yeah,
and we did it. We
you sunk their battleship.
Yeah.
And yes, the war ensued, and we lost the NFL license, which was one of the saddest things to ever happen.
I know. I couldn't even look at that All Pro too. I was like, I can't.
It was
at that.
tough.
Yeah,
It was tough.
Yeah.
And the NBA, kudos to them, stuck to their guns and said, we're not going exclusive. The NHL did the same thing.
Yes.
MLB did a weird exclusivity, and Sav, I can't wait to tell you about MLB at some point. And if we don't get into it today, we'll get into the next one.
Yeah.
But it was a monumental moment. And again, another one of these generational moments where I got to work on a game that was so good. We schemed this marketing concept that was so different and unique that it just changed the face of video games forever. And
Yeah.
again, it required everybody in the room to do this. It wasn't just me. I was this one part of this whole thing, and it was amazing. And just
The
to tell you
breakup
how
games is just one part of it.
But it was
to
a
tell
team.
you how scrappy we were,
Mhm.
we had like 2K5 year, we had set up a direct to consumer website where we were mailing copies of the game out to people directly. My lunch breaks, I was going into our conference room and packaging up copies of 2K5 and mailing them out to
Wow.
people.
Spread the
Like
word.
this is
Spread the word. Word of
this
mouth.
is
We
how
street team.
this is how scrappy we were
That's
as
cool.
as a group. Like we were just a small team, and we really
Mm.
wanted to do this. And
Mm.
Visual Concepts, I will forever hold in the highest regard, even to this day, as one of the greatest developers out there. And most of the team that worked on NFL 2K5, on NBA 2K, are still there. Like
Wow.
Greg Thomas, the founder of Visual Concepts,
Mhm.
always wanted this to be a garage/family industry. It started
Mhm.
that way. And the people he brought on have become experts in their craft and make the greatest games year in and year out, NBA 2K, because they know what they're doing. They're so experienced. And I feel like this is important in gaming in general, in that there's always this rush to go younger, to bring in new
Mhm.
people, to bring in the latest and greatest. And I think it's important to keep gaming fresh.
Mhm.
But there's something to be said for people that have this level of expertise that you only achieve after 10, after 15,
Yeah.
after 20 years. And Greg believes in this. His dev team is that. There are
Mhm.
people I'm still friends with from those 2K5 days that I still hang out with today.
Oh my God, this is
And
awesome.
even one of the guys on the NBA 2K team, he plays hockey with me
Mhm.
weekly up nearby us at the rink that we play at. And we talk about it all the time, and we talk about those days very fondly because things have changed so much in corporatizing of these
Mhm.
companies has changed. Take-Two took over. It's now a big organization. Visual
Mhm.
Concepts at its core is still the same entity, and they still create this amazing NBA 2K experience. And
Yeah.
they
Without you, that doesn't happen though.
Mhm.
Like seriously, like if you really look at it, right? If they would have kept status quo,
Mm-hmm.
Visual Concepts would have basically been phased out. Seriously,
it
right?
was heading
Because
that way.
when I never forget when I had got the PlayStation 2 and we had saw Madden and they had the little round helmets. That's the first time I saw complete little round helmets and they had these little bug eyes. They look kind of weird. But I was like, oh my God.
Mhm.
Because it was moving at 60 frames per second. It looked absolutely bananas. I think that was the year that they got the exclusive contract or whatever.
Mhm.
But if you guys never made it over to them, you never got sold off or whatever, everything was serendipitous in the sense that it was just you and another guy as marketing, and y'all sat there and y'all figured this thing out. And the audio, ESPN, everything came together at the time it needed to come together to do what it needed to do. And it did exactly that. Even if it never lived on, what it did do was allow the others to live on.
Mhm.
Right. And 2K
Yes.
Sports is it's huge. Like 2K
Oh, what it
is
became?
the
Oh my
basketball
God.
is huge.
It's
Oh yeah.
huge.
And so you see where EA had to run in the burning building and it took out Madden to save that. You sacrificed 2K football in order to save the rest. So it
Yeah.
was like a tale of two companies in a sense that you went out there, you achieved your goal. Regardless to what, that's the feather in the cap. What we never understood, because we're at this time, we're not in the industry in any form of capacity. We are gamers at the highest level. We are supporting through magazines, through forums, through purchasing, through evangelizing the games as they come out and talking about it amongst people, actually having the debates of Madden versus 2K, that stuff. Y'all kind of made it easier because you had a superior product regardless to what.
Mhm.
But we never knew the story
Mhm.
If we
I
don't
know.
get into this industry, and if Cog doesn't go, we don't meet Toby, we don't. It's ties. We
Yes.
get to this. We have these questions later on that ultimately reaches this apex where
Mhm.
we're sitting with you, not knowing this
That's so
story,
crazy. Yeah, yeah.
and this story comes about. We finally found out who was the breaker of games.
And filled in the blanks with a lot of
Right?
questions that we had over the years. But to
Facts.
King's point, it was such a revolutionary. It was a rebel spirit. And this is why competition is good in space, right? Because at the
Necessary.
end of the day, Madden had a chokehold, and I respect Madden. Don't get me wrong. Like I was there, since the Genesis days when they had the yellow tab on the cartridge, and EA,
Hmm.
it's in the game,
Yeah.
and look, they were great for what it did, and bringing simulation style sports experiences to
Hmm.
console, right? Amazing. And then obviously the Dreamcast comes, and I remember seeing visual concepts games, and I'm like, graphically, they have transformed the genre. This is almost lifelike, the realism, the animations, the thing that we're doing, but at the same time, preserving the simulation aspect of sports. Because I'm a guy that, don't get me wrong, you love my NBA jams, but I want the averages to feel real. I want the
Hmm.
gameplay to feel real, whatever sport it is. And that's what also visual concepts represented. And then, like you said, to what King said, I don't want to minimize it, in a way the breaker of games thing is kind of funny because
Bro.
Madden, people have to understand the dominance of Madden at that time. There was
Hmm.
nothing that could compete with it. And to see you guys not only take on the champ, it was a David and Goliath story. Bully the champ, where the champ now has been knocked out
They
and
had to
now have
snitch.
to scramble and now work all their back connections to get the league to say, oh, don't give them the exclusive right, to do all these things to stymie you because they've been defeated. That is a moment in gaming that will never be replicated. I remember Saul going to the local game stores, and that year it's like, okay, you could get, Madden, right? Madden's out, but 2K, $20.
Yeah.
It was a
$20.
no-brainer. It was $20, the better game, the better looking game, the better playing game. I never remember when King brought it on. He said, Cog, you ain't gonna believe this. And I heard Chris Berman, and they'd had the ESPN license. Like I was watching Sports Center, and Terrell Owens catches the ball and the first thing that I'm like,
Cover
I am,
athlete. Yep.
bro, I
Yeah.
am watching a broadcast replay the highlights of the game in the game at half. The presentation was pristine. This is
It was so good.
unheard of. And the last thing,
Dynamic.
and dynamic.
Yep.
And the thing that I'll never forget too is just like the AI algorithm, the way the offensive line and defensive line interact, certain things
Yep.
from an AI perspective that felt like real football to this day. That some things that man still hasn't replicated well. People still play 2K5 to this day. You know what I'm saying? Like it was wow. What a time. I do want to give Solve some bars because with baseball, because I am curious what happened with the MLB part because you guys took a shot. I remember there was MLB 2K games, right, Solve?
So the thing is, yeah. So I was going to ask Mike about Saturn, but
Yeah.
he did not work on that at all, right? So the transition into Dreamcast, he did not work on that first 2K game, the one that had Pedro on the cover,
World
that
Series baseball.
right,
Yes.
the World
Yeah.
Series baseball that they lied to us about. It
Yes.
was
It was made
that
out, it was
game.
made in Japan, that one.
It was,
Yeah.
and it was an arcade game,
Correct.
and all those screenshots that we saw looked amazing. I was like, oh my god, they're taking this amazing simulation formula that they've had on the Genesis and into like the Saturn, because the Saturn, the games were more arcadey, but also had that. It still felt good enough to be simulation games, right? So I'm like, okay, they're gonna give me that mix, and then we go into the Dreamcast first game, and I remember Cog and I, we have a story about it. We went to pick it up at Electronics Boutique downtown. We went to the store. There were only 2 copies left. Cog had grabbed his already, so there was 1 copy left, and that belonged to the guy that was working there. And he said, "Dude, I'll give you my copy if you just go get me McDonald's breakfast." And I'm like, "All right,
I
cool."
remember this. Yes.
Like, I got you. I got him McDonald's breakfast, big breakfast. I take the game home. And like we're playing, and like 2 hours later, I call Cog, and I'm like, Cog, this game is the most beautiful POS I've ever played in my life. It is horrible
You
because
couldn't control the
it,
fielders.
you couldn't control the
Oh,
fielders.
yes, I was
I
disgusted. I
remember when
remember
Saul
this.
went crazy
Man, we
about
went
this.
crazy about
Fielding was
this.
automatic,
Automatic.
and then do you remember that hitting was hitting? You would hold the trigger
trigger,
and
yep.
release it to
Yes.
swing. That
Oh,
was
you
the
hated
hitting.
that. Yeah, you
Oh
hated
my
that.
goodness, I
Yeah,
was so
It
disappointed
was
Saul,
arcade 100% to the
100%.
core.
to the
Yeah,
core,
because
and I
they.
was just like,
Sorry, please. Yeah, please.
no,
Thanks,
no, no,
Saul.
please,
I
no,
interrupted
no,
with
go
you.
ahead. No,
No,
no.
the only thing I remember just because you were so disgusted. He's such Saul played baseball, and he's such a purist. And the reason why I felt his disgust because at that time was it like the analog kind of hitting, or where it would go
What
full through. You couldn't check butt or something like that. Am I correct? Is it like you could check
I
swing?
I don't remember if there was a check swing
Okay,
if you could press a face button and check swing,
okay.
but there wasn't you weren't pressing the button to swing. You
Mhm.
would hold the trigger to sort of get yourself in a hitting position
Yeah.
and then release it as the ball came to swing.
Right, right. That's what I remember.
Not
That's
intuitive at all.
at
Not
all.
at
And the
all.
reason for that mechanic, if you remember the Naomi arcade version of World Series Baseball, it had a little bat lever that you would pull back
You
Yes,
to
you would
pull
pull
release.
down
back.
and you release
You would
it.
And
pull back.
that's why that was there. But you guys keep me honest on time here
You
because
know, yeah, we will put a pin on it here, right?
Okay.
We got
Yeah,
to
like
get about
we'll get into
Yeah,
the baseball later, right? Because
yeah.
the baseball is a whole other
But
I
he,
have a
thing to go down.
whole thing for
yeah,
you on baseball.
Oh,
yes,
Yeah.
fantastic.
but
Even to
yeah.
the point of I'll plant a couple seeds. So
All right, let's
with
go for
baseball,
part two. Yeah, yeah.
Japan was very proud of their baseball prowess, and so the
Hmm.
reason that original game came out and was developed by Japan is that Sega felt like they were the better baseball developer. Um, we had another company working on MLB 2K2 or
Mm,
2K1. I can't remember which one it was,
mhm.
and they were subcontracted through Visual Concepts, and that's when it changed to a more U.S. style baseball game, but still kind of left something to be desired compared to NFL 2K. But
Mhm.
kind of fast forward, that title,
Mhm.
the exclusivity battle happened.
Yeah.
MLB did sign an exclusivity where we allowed Sony to stay in the game, but we got the exclusive
Mm,
rights. And
Hmm.
so our carrot was, hey, we want exclusivity, but we'll let Sony continue to make games. Everyone else is
mm,
out. And so we ended up getting the exclusivity there.
mhm.
It was a little bit of a mixed bag because there was a lot of pressure on how many games we had to release per year, not
Yeah.
just the simulation game, but all these
But the
other
arcadey
titles,
ones, yes. Hmm.
Mhm.
kids games, arcadey ones.
The
It was a
bigs.
crazy contract.
Mm.
The bigs was amazing.
Yeah.
Um, so yes, and I worked on all of those. So we'll
Wow.
plant this
We're playing it
seed.
here. Hmm.
The couple caveats that I'm going to
Okay.
plant are one is the $1 million challenge. That was my baby. And it was the first person to pitch a perfect game in MLB 2K10
I
for $1
remember
million.
that.
So we'll get into that on the next one.
Okay.
The
Okay.
second one is Kate Upton and Justin Verlander.
Hmm.
We'll get into that one because they're now
Okay.
married, but 2K is responsible.
What?
That's right. You brought them together for the commercial. I
That's
remember.
right. That's right. And
He
we'll
said
just
that's right.
and we can talk a little bit about NHL 2K, which the
Yes,
whole
I need
reason
to
I
talk
was
about
brought
that.
in, the whole reason I was brought in, I finally start
Got to
working
work on
a
it.
lot on NHL 2K and kind of get to help this one along. So
Finally,
we'll
right?
get into that too.
Yeah,
And then we'll get into my time with NBA 2K, which we didn't even touch
we didn't
on.
even touch that. Yep.
Ellen Iverson.
In the one thing I will say,
Mhm.
as well as being the breaker of games, and I really appreciate that name, King. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I also developed this ability to work with athletes that helped me a lot along
Mhm.
the way, and to the point with I don't get starstruck around these people and get to know them on a level that they become friends, and it's really awesome. And the one thing I couldn't compete with EA on is EA would gift do everything, pull out the red carpet, take these guys to clubs of
Mm-hmm.
certain natures, like
Certain natures.
The leisure shoot Larry clubs.
right. They would give them Rolexes, like all these things.
This, man.
I didn't have the budget to do that. I was one guy. I couldn't do that.
Was
So
Peter over at EA at this time? Were you competing against
he
Peter at this time?
he was over at EA, and yes,
Yeah,
we were trying to compete against him.
yeah, Peter's no
And
joke.
he had really he was always very kind about his words about visual concepts, even as a direct competitor. So I
Awesome.
admire that guy so much. That's another thing we can touch on. But
Mhm.
my mindset on the athletes was,
Yeah,
we're going to bring them into the studio and let them be a part of the game development. That's one thing
process.
I can do.
Nice.
I'm going to let them be a part of it. I'm going to make the campaigns with the guys, not for the guys. And so
Nice.
that was kind of this different approach that I was taking that ended up working for us. And so we can touch on that. But I never got starstruck around Shaq, around Derek Jeter, around Michael Jordan, around
The name drop. The name drop was crazy.
The name drop is crazy right now.
I feel very lucky to have worked with all of them, but I never get starstruck. The only time I get starstruck, honestly, is around content creators, around you guys. And
Really?
and
That's crazy. That's interesting.
this may be our moment where we can like sort of close this out for the next
Yeah.
one. But
Mhm.
I've always admired content creators, even before content creating was a thing. The guys who could make content, who could speak intelligently to games, show other people what's so special about a game. Early YouTubers, I was hugely enamored by these people, and Chris Smoove for NBA 2K, huge part of our marketing. And before marketing with content creators was a thing, and I get starstruck by that. I get starstruck
Mhm.
by Carnage. I get starstruck by Angry Joe, by you guys. Like I I am so mind blown with what you're able to do and how you're able to share information and your passion for gaming. And I'm going to leave kind of our conversation at this and something for us to pick up on. But
Mhm.
I now find myself working directly with content creators, and it's the greatest job I've had in gaming. And the reason I say this is I'm at this place where the walls between the development studio and the community are the thinnest that they can be. And there was always this era in gaming where fans of games never knew what the developer was thinking, or
Yeah.
the publisher talked down to the gamer and
Yeah.
didn't listen back. And now I'm in this place where I get to hear the community, I get to hear the content creators, I get to connect them with the developers, and we have this transparent conversation. And Cog, this is going full circle to our KCD2 event.
Absolutely.
The minute I met Toby was the minute I knew they had to be community first. We had to do everything for the community because the community was what brought Kingdom Come Deliverance into existence. They crowdfunded that dev team.
Mhm.
And so I'm finding myself able to work with super talented, super creative, the hardest working people in gaming, content
Mhm.
creators who work day in and day out to bring their content to their fans, whether it's through live streams, through podcasts, through YouTube videos, through social. And I tell everybody that this is the greatest place to be. Each person I work with is like working on an individual marketing campaign because I learn about their platform, I learn about their voice in gaming, and then we come up with a scheme together on how to talk about our game
Mhm.
honestly and properly. And I am so thankful to be sitting here with you all today.
Thankful to be
And
sitting here with you, brother.
I've
Likewise,
never
man.
felt more at home because of the like-mindedness, because of the nerd network.
I love that. I love that
Yeah,
terminology. I love it.
And it's a dream come true. I'm going to these events, I'm meeting all these content creators, and they have the same passion, they have the same mindset, and it's warming, it's invigorating. I've never felt more connected to gaming than I have in this moment. And this like harkens back to my early career,
Mhm.
when I was just pinching myself and mind blown. I'm kind of back there again. And
Mhm.
I cannot thank you guys enough for like the light bulb going off and saying, wait, we need to have you on the podcast. And in
Oh, yeah.
my mind, yes, I err on the side of being humble and
Mhm.
I don't feel like I am the person that should be on podcasts. I feel like, like there are
No,
plenty of
you
other people out there.
absolutely should.
But
No,
Absolutely.
absolutely should.
I
Yeah.
I
Me
thank
and
you guys for it.
Me and Cog was talking, right? All right, so like before then, because he mentioned you, and then we got a chance to talk because we was talking about another project that you're on and stuff
Neo
like that.
Geo
We didn't even get to
AS5.
that. We didn't even get to that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That,
right?
Part two is gonna be lit.
It's
Like,
gonna
yeah.
be crazy because
We
if you
didn't
thought
touch
this was
retro
crazy,
consoles. We didn't do a lot yet. Yeah,
he has a lot. He's a
it's
lot.
a lot.
Yeah, pause. He's a lot. But it's just we were talking about that and we said, yeah, it's perfect,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because we do have a community of older gamers,
Mhm.
mature gamers that can understand and do want to know what was going on in the background, like we do. Like,
Yeah.
so allowing you this platform to have the conversation, to talk, and also knowing that we live kind of the same lives, doing the same things, but we diverge in different ways in how we attack the industry. You attacked from the inside out, attacking from the outside in, and the two lines, like you said, is never been thinner.
Mhm.
And this is living proof of that we got to this right now, this visual concept, right, of what we see here. And I'm humbled by listening to you, by understanding you are a wealth of knowledge and there's more to come.
Yes.
But what this spawns, what creativity this spawns into somebody that is doing content creation or that wants to make a game or that is inspired by your story or that is inspired by this talk. You have other content creators that say they're going to reach out to you. Trust and believe. They're reaching out to you after this, right? And because we're setting the pathway that this guy is the guy. He has always been the guy. Maybe he's not the complete piece, but if every puzzle is missing a piece, then it's not complete. And you complete all those puzzles at every stop that you are at. So trust and believe we are absolutely humbled as you are. And I can't wait for part two. But I'll let Cog, bookend it and Solve have his words.
No, absolutely. I mean, you said it well. Again, there's so many missing pieces here, and I could tell like you had synapses firing. I could see it in your head where like that led to more stories that you still haven't told yet.
Yes.
And that's why I said we're definitely going to do a part two. But brother, we're humbled as well because growing up during this era, like King said, there were also like-minded individuals who are on this journey together, whatever their contribution was, whether it be actually in the games industry, marketing, developing. We've talked all this high on the executive levels, funny stories of Peter Moore having to tell, Nakasan and those guys about focus groups in America and how Sega is being perceived and them not wanting to kind of hear the truth about how things were towards the tail end. And those things are fascinating because when you love something passionately, you want to know, hey, why did this happen? Or what was your thought process on making that decision at that time? And these are the things that we feel for Iron Lords podcast and all things that we do to educate our audience, because a lot of times gamers, we think we know everything. But when you speak to guys like Mike, the breaker of games and what was going on and the marketing for 2K and stuff like that, you go, oh, this was the mindset. And sometimes things were out of your control. Like, yo, these guys went behind our back. They stole our, they stole our ideas or hey, we were so disruptive that they like, let's get the license exclusive and let's kind of knock them out kind of thing. So these are all interesting. And obviously, I'll let Soph get his bars as well, Mike. But yeah, we definitely are humbled as well. And we have to revisit this. But Soph, I'll let you get your bars for Mike as we conclude part one. But part two is going to be coming very soon.
Might be a part three because
there's
a lot. There's a lot here.
This is going.
We need to do a series with Mike here.
Yes. What you got to say, Soph?
No, man, but to me, I think the main thing that I glean from all this as we're talking to you is just that, again, the conversations we had around those big moments in games, we weren't just like we weren't just passive observers, right? As people who grew up loving these games, and when these moments happened, we're all old enough by that point to be like, why is this happening? This is insane, right? Obviously, like the 1999 moment, all of us, and I'm not even the biggest football dude, and I'm like, I'm getting this 1999 NFL.
It worked.
It worked, and I'm like, It's just and those like we would have conversations because we would congregate at Cog's house, right? And this would be it's just all stuff either we're congregating at Cog's house or we're playing online or whatever, but everyone's having the same conversation, and we're like, this doesn't make any sense. And you know, you're beginning to like look at what it does to the market and things like that, and you start thinking about the industry differently. And we've always had these questions about what is going on behind the scenes in these moments. And for that moment in particular, like I'm thinking like there's this huge team behind this. This had to be this super concerted effort by all the levels at 2K or whatnot, because this is a big deal to be like, we're selling this product that cost us, you know, many millions of dollars to make. We're selling it for $20. And I was like, no, the two marketing people that are on it, along with the team, decided like, hey,
we didn't let the NFL be let them know.
We didn't let the NFL
Surprise!
know.
Find out when they find out. Like, I didn't know that.
Surprise! What do you mean 1999?
And it's just like, but it's those moments. It's those moments. It goes to show you how much of the, you know, the industry used to be like this Wild West, and it's gotten kind of constricted more and more over the years. But these are the stories that create the moments that we're experiencing now. Certain things don't happen unless you don't have that sort of renegade spirit and be like, we're going to do this and we're going to worry about, you know, at the
consequences later.
Yo, Saul, after that, I'm pretty sure every contract got a price line in there.
Oh yeah. They make sure.
It has to.
Because Mike made it
100%.
clear. He said everything was that was one of the few things that wasn't contractually stated in reference to the price in terms of the contracts and stuff like that. So learning these kind of things is very,
man. To have you here and to pick your brain about these things, and for you to be as humble about it as you are, being on the front line of these things, it's just amazing to us. So if you say you're in awe of us, we truly are humbled and appreciate that. But you have to understand what having you here means to guys like us. You have to.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys so much.
You are welcome.
What an experience.
Yes. So we have Realm again. So just for the Realm that's listening, we will conclude here, but there will be a part 2. We have a ton more to talk about. We didn't even get into so many stuff. We didn't even get into AAS, Neo Geo. We didn't get into a lot of stuff.
Oh my goodness!
We didn't
even
know
what's going on now.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So and it won't take long. You know, most likely, like I said, the Lords will be at Summer Games Fest. But maybe when we come back and I'll work with scheduling team, we will put this out. Mike Rhinehart, the Rhino, aka the Breakup Games, an absolute pleasure. We will have you back, brother. Thank you so much for setting so much time for us, and we cannot wait for part 2 because I'm excited. I'm chomping at the bit. Thank you so much, brother, for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you to your community, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
All right. Peace.